OP. Name shall be Blue.
You're my boy, Blue!
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact. And it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping into r/TalesofNeckbeards. Actually, it comes from our personal subreddit r/ReddX reads, but you probably knew that already, didn't you? Probably. Today we've got the story of Stratbeard by user Satyr Kid. She reached out to me in the Discord. She's like, hey, I really hope this story gets read. I'm like, nice, subtle. I actually considered doing it yesterday, but there were some formatting problems and they went back and fixed up the formatting. So now I reward their hard work with a bit of hard work of my own. You know how it goes. I'm not 100% sure why they call him Stratbeard. Perhaps he has some neckbeard strategies that we haven't seen before, though I doubt it because most beards are cut from mostly the same cloth. I guess we will uncover the mysteries together. So let's get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some neckbeard cringe. Stratbeard 1, Clash of the Titans. Oh my god, that sounds epic. Hello, gentle sirs and m'ladies. M'ladies. Not safe for work warning. Nothing bad, just uncomfortable, as I dance around most of it for you. I mean, most of these stories are uncomfortable, at least on some level. This will be a long introductory post of a few stories about the aforementioned Stratbeard. I was inspired by watching ReddX and Q-Star videos for entire work shifts to distract myself from sitting there and doing next to nothing. Sounds like a sweet gig. I am sad that Q-Star gave up on the Neckbeard stories. He's like, oh, these are all the same basically, and I'm like, but there's so much nuance to them. I don't know how I can enjoy them as much as I do, and other people are like, meh. Not trying to throw shade on Q-Star or anything, but the beards made you. How could you abandon them? This story is a doozy, and I am partially ashamed that I was even in the situation that I was in. A terrible tragedy indeed. For now, I have no contact with the poor, sad man. So what you get is what you get for the time being. Sorry. It's actually kind of a joint story that may later be told from the perspective of my wonderful girlfriend. Oh, script flip. Not safe for work warning. Again, you have been warned. I guess that's the third time now. And let's get into our characters. Me, OP. Name shall be Blue. At the time of this story, a 19 to 20-year-old female dumbass who was at the time of average figure with skinny-ish twig arms and trunks for legs. I am not smoosh because I have the resting bitch face, the resting bitch face, and I'm scary looking, with my neutral face being a rather pissed off look. So thank you, ancestors. I'm about average height, being 5'7". I love drawing and anime, plus I'm a furry, bisexual, and polyamorous. Proud as well. Oh, see, that's why you're hanging out in the Discord. You heard we got all the good furry stuff in the dark channel that I never go to in my Discord server, the Shadowlands. Apple is a little short 23-year-old Filipino girl who is sadly neckbeard smoosh, being anime and My Little Pony obsessed, along with having an oversized triple D bust that lent some imbalance to her tiny stature. Usually wears trendy things and sweaters along with makeup, kind of a doof and also a little naive at the time of this story, curly black hair and dark eyes and tan skin. Then we got the art gallery folks, the best group of friends that anyone could count on. Main folk here are blacksmith, army wife, and coder. The name's pretty descriptive there, I guess. And finally, our beard, Stratbeard. A pretty overweight man who was 22 or 23 at the time and 6 foot something. He wears polos and BronyCon security shirts, considering he worked at BronyCon. He also wore jeans quite a lot and had thick brown curly hair along with his magnificent neckbeard, of course. He has a mediocre sense of cleanliness and a poor sense of social skills that for some reason he claimed to be godlike because he's a neckbeard. Comes from a religious family and is far from holy. He likes strategy games and My Little Pony. And now we can finally begin the tale. It was the spring of 2019. I had been going to this community college since 2018 after graduating high school. I had no friends at this point, and I was sure that I was destined to go through my 2 years with my mysterious vibe about me that tended to keep folk away. I was sitting in the cafeteria at the time, and I believe I approached a group of people who gathered at a table in order to at least try and make some new friends at this place. Well, you're not doing too good with the mysterious vibe if you're approaching people. I don't quite remember how I was actually integrated into this group, but I spent a few of my free periods hanging out with them. They had invited me to play Uno one day after class, and I was glad to play. Again, Uno was not conducive to the mysterious vibe. Loving a bit of chaos and the broken minds that always tend to happen during that game. So, after class, I decided to hit up the table to play, but alas, what doth I see? A beautiful girl I had never seen before. So I sat next to her to make small talk and try and get to know her better. Now at this time I was dating my ex-boyfriend, Army Boy, who had been in the army a few months at this point, so I wasn't really interested in going any further than flirting. I find out her name is Apple. And as we play Uno, I get to bond with the little lady, trying my damnedest to awkwardly flirt, but I end up being too nervous to actually do anything that wasn't as subtle as an ant on a black tile floor. Flirting while your significant other is away is really not an okay thing to do. And don't come at me with that, oh, it's just flirting. Flirting leads to stuff, okay? Months pass. Whoop, time jump. By this point, I started working at the art gallery on the college campus, as did all my friends at the cafeteria as well. I had broken up with my ex by now. Good job, that's the responsible thing to do if you're gonna flirt with somebody else. Make sure you're single first. And so now I had the opportunity to be dramatically in the "I'll be alone forever" state after the breakup. And I had also learned at this point that Apple was dating someone who the art gallery folks and I had never seen pictures of or even heard virtually anything about up until this point. So whatever, I lost any hope of trying to win her over, I guess, and I went back to idly being in the group of friends that we were in. Bro, you gonna let the invisible man beat you out? No, I'm I'm playing. It's good to respect the boundaries. Apple had convinced me to get a telegram to chat with her when her boyfriend would often, no, more like every day, make her go to him after her classes were done. Eventually, I got other members of the group to get Telegram too, and we initiated the friend group chat. Apple decided it would be a perfect opportunity to add this elusive boyfriend to the group chat, and that was when I unofficially met the omnipotent presence that was Stratbeard. Oh no, she's dating the beard? I was wondering when he was gonna make his entrance. Kind of blindsided me. At first, he was pretty alright. He had a cute snake as a profile picture and presented himself well. Snake as a profile picture, bro. After listening to Serpentbeard, I don't trust it. I do feel that it's important to note that the art gallery folks can be a little much, but are just generally a fun, loving group of people. I'm gonna need you to expound on that. What the hell? And Stratbeard proved that he was not fit for the chaos of our friend group in a text chat room, literally leaving the group after not even a day in it. So when he dropped the chat, Apple suggested to me that just the three of us should go and do a chat. I thought that was odd, but whatever. Oh no, an OP called Apple naive at the beginning. And after talking, and a bit more talking, me and Strat had actually been pretty heavily flirting with each other, which apparently turned out to be fine with Apple. Oh I hate this story. This is so uncomfortable. OP just out here flirting with anything that moves, like, hey, I like your girlfriend. Hey, I'm gonna flirt with your boyfriend too. Hey, god damn, dude, put a lid on it. Holy, I mean, I know there's not only one way to have a relationship, but this is outside my frame of reference at the very least. Apple was open to letting Stratbeard do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. I was fresh out of a very unsatisfying relationship and was gunning hard for any sort of action. So we made a plan. Meet up, goof off. That's it. That's all that's gonna happen. Everything's normal here, you guys. Holy shit. Oh, Apple, that poor little idiot. Yeah, I don't want to tell my boyfriend that he can't cheat on me in front of my face. Grow a spine. But again, maybe she is like legitimately okay with it. I have no idea what to think. I hope the comments can help me out on this. But as OP says, it is never that simple. See? That's what I'm saying. Days pass, and the meetup date is upon us. I went to our meetup spot, which was right outside of the nearby Hawaiian Ono fast food joint, dressed up in a button-up shirt with rolled-up sleeves and shorts, I believe. Now, I had never actually seen this man. And I suppose the mystery surrounding him made this all the more interesting. Oh God, OP. I'm trying so hard to go to bat for you, but I just can't. Oh, this was a big mistake on my part. Yeah, I had no idea who I was looking for. I only had a car description from him, so I started to get this nervous wrench in my gut that maybe I should just cancel the meetup. Was this right? It seemed pretty sketchy and hush-hush, which felt really off. But eventually I saw the car pull up, and as soon as I saw him, all I thought was, oh no. What did you think was gonna happen? Prince Charming's gonna roll up and be like, oh, you and me will just bang right now, and then maybe me and my girlfriend will have a threesome with you later, and yeah, it's all super hush-hush, but she's totally cool with it, I swear. Oh my god. At least OP acknowledged her dumbassery in the character description part, because I am facepalming so hard at this point. Oh, clearly, he looked like the definition of some Reddit stories that I had read at the time. A neckbeard. My heart dropped into my stomach, but it was too late. I at least owed him a meal for driving all the way up the canyon to see me. No, you don't. Nobody owes anybody anything, okay? I don't want to be here. I ain't gonna be here. It's that simple. Sorry, you're not what I expected. I'm going home. But OP stuck around, and they went inside and formally introduced themselves before ordering and sitting down to eat. Then, during our convo, he spoke.
Hey, you know what would be really scandalous?
What?
If we did a little bit of dirty stuff in the bathroom.
No way. Please don't.
It will be a little bit tricky, but still, what do you think?
Sure. OP! No, dude! What the actual flying fuck? Oh, man. This is bad. Whatever you think is easiest to do, although I'd rather not give the employees a hassle, my way of trying to say, fine, make it quick. I hate this story, every inch of it. It's cringy, but cringe I can handle. It's mostly the wanting to strangle the shit out of OP because she's being an idiot. But here we are, so let's continue, I suppose. Now, keep in mind that I was in the mindset of, whatever, let's just get this over with. I'm so at a loss for words. Like, if you're not even interested, why would you do it at all? I don't get it. I do not get it. So yeah, sure. If it meant that this encounter could be over quicker, I was all for it. So, sneakily, I went into the bathroom first, and he followed a little while after to not raise any suspicion. We had a very one-sided bit of fun. I'd rather not get into the details of what. This time was honestly just too embarrassing to remember. At least you are ashamed of it. This is horrible. Coerced into sex with your best friend's neckbeard boyfriend. She's not present for any of this. Like, what? I think I said what about 100 times, but I still can't get a grasp on this one. Whew. Something I did notice is that he was very adamant on taking pictures of me doing stuff with him. Oh, Jesus. And you let that happen too? Like, dude, I can't. Thought that he was a photographer, I guess. Heh. These photos were creepy. Yeah, as bathroom sex photos often are. Kind of felt odd that he wanted photos so bad, and some had parts of my face which made me uncomfortable, but thankfully none had my tattoos, which were a more defining feature than my acne-ridden jawline. Another thing, I noticed he smelled like absolute shit under his jeans. Sucking a beardy smegma dick, getting a nose full of shit. Oh, God. I shouldn't have said it out loud. I apologize. It was as if he would just marinate his poopy underwears for days or weeks on end in his own musk and sweat. Oh, that's how he picked up OP and Apple. He's got them beard pheromones. Watch out for this guy. It was god-awful and nearly burnt all of my senses dead. This coupled with it also being a hot-as-hell day. It is sweaty too. Oh, God. And now I'm in a compromising position in a locked bathroom and was more than vulnerable to this lumbering man in front of me, so I bared with it and got it over with. Ah, man, this is such a rough one to stomach. Half of me is like, OP put herself in this position, but the other half is like, I kind of get it. Women wanting to appease men that are bigger than them in order to not get hurt in some way. But it sucks. All around, it sucks. That's what I'll say about it. We finished doing his creepy photo shoot in the bathroom, and I am plenty ready to take the walk of shame home right now. But he says,
I should hang out with him a little bit longer.
He thought this would be the perfect time
to do some errands, while he's here.
Mainly because he lied to his parents, saying that he was going to do some work for Uber so that he could come up here with me and get his dick sucked in a bathroom. I mean, maybe more than that happened, but that's what I'm imagining in my head. So, alright. Maybe I could grab a pretzel from Wetzel's Pretzels on the way home afterwards. Yeah, that's what I do when I just had a poor sexual experience to fill the hole in my heart. Wetzel's Pretzel. Oh, you're killing me. We went and bought some shit at Walmart for his dad, and he suggested having some actual fun before we parted. So I said, yeah, whatever, sure. See, he was just getting blown before. Now it's the actual penetrative stuff. And for some reason, OP's just like, okay. I would have bailed in Walmart, just like while he's shopping for shit. Slip away, out and exit, call an Uber. Like, why are you still here? Jesus Christ. I was naively hoping that this would be better than what I had just went through. We got in his car, and I led him to a secluded area near my place, and we had some yet again, one-sided fun before he got nervous about a worker taking their smoke break a couple of feet from us. There was a dude in their truck, so I reluctantly agreed to move to a different spot. We went down the road, and he ended up getting his car stuck in a sand pit. Perfect. I had to wait 4 hours with this man that wouldn't let me end this godforsaken day. In his car, too far to walk home in the heat, while he called his mom and fibbed his way into getting his parents to call a tow service. Mommy, I was trying to bang this woman against her will and my car got stuck. God damn, dude. This is some high quality cringe. The story really makes me angry, but also I'm enjoying the hell out of it on some level. Then finally, once he got out of the sand pit for $400, we parted ways as he dropped me off at my house. Blissfully home, I was quick to shower and brush my teeth, but this was far from the end of my short but eventful time with this stinky and horny man. Watch for part 2 soon enough. Hope that you nerds enjoyed. What a dumpster fire, dude. I don't know if I can say that I legitimately enjoyed it. The cringe was there, but good God, OP. And then you end it with like the talking down. Hey, nerds. I hate when people do that, honestly. I realize that most of my content is made specifically for nerds, but I would never call my friends nerds. I call them friends because they're supporting my dream and they're good people. But you know, maybe we're trying to take the word back or something like that. I don't know. I don't buy it too much. This story obviously just pushed a lot of buttons for me, and I'm sure the comments will have some stuff to say about it too. There's like so many points where OP could have bailed, but she's just like, whatever. And then the fact that all of this is happening behind Apple's back, which she said she's okay with it. I thought she'd be included in the festivities, but she wasn't at all. So I'm pretty sure she has no idea what's actually going on right now. There is a part 2 up. I'm loath to get into it at this point, honestly. But much like the Goblin Queen, I'm sure that people will want to hear the second part and whatever other parts there are. Perhaps despite the fact that I relentlessly ripped on OP, or perhaps because I relentlessly ripped on OP. Honestly, I have to give you some credit for like realizing in hindsight that your actions were really dumb and horrible, but it's such a pain to sit through. It's like, yeah, I had to wait with them for the tow truck for 4 hours because it was too hot to walk home. Like, bro, I'd rather die of heat stroke, honestly. God damn, what a mess, what a mess. But it did bring the cringe, so I guess that's the main purpose, isn't it? I hope you guys will let me know what you thought. I hope you like, comment, and or subscribe. If you did enjoy the video in some type of way, maybe share it around. Or, you know, you probably ain't got to, because it's just a story about some neckbeard getting blown in the bathroom and then banged in a Walmart parking lot after they go to Wetzel's Pretzels. Oh, it still kills me. What a series of events. You can't make shit like this up. I believe it 100%, unfortunately. This is certainly a great way to win over the girl that I like.
There's the girl that I like. I know I can be cool if I try. Hi, Stan! Gross!
Stratbeard 2, Birthday Boogaloo. Oh my. The best way to ruin a party. Bring a beard in there. Part 1 is there. Sweet. I also put that link in the description to the first video if you ain't seen it. Not safe for work disclaimer, some raunchy talk, and swear words. Uh-oh, we don't say that around here. God damn it. I think it's still too early in the video for me to say those things. Whoopsie! Hello again, my crusty gentle sirs and voluptuous ladies. It is I, Blue, whom loves you all. I got a couple of comments on my first story, and I appreciate that. Yes, I know I was dumb. I should have bailed on the entire situation, and I do acknowledge how much of a dumbass I am, or was. We'll give you some credit. I'm gonna assume that hopefully you have lived and learned since this situation. Also, for those who assume that I was going behind my ex's back to flirt, I wasn't. Okay, well, I'll take the L on that one, you know. ReddX ain't always right. In fact, it's very rare. He gave me full permission for the flirting, and our breakup was for entirely different reasons. Thank you, ReddX, for reading my story. Hopefully this one is a bit less cringy to you. Well, I do love some cringe, but yeah, let's balance it with, like, big brainery, you know? If you can big brain and cringe at the same time, that makes me feel good. Anyways, let's get into it with the characters. Blue, 20-year-old who is starry-eyed and having a hard time understanding when it's okay to just say no. Getting better at it here, though. Apple, turned 23 during this story, dating Stratbeard at the time, okay with our whole thing that was going on. Stratbeard, 22-year-old man who reeked of ball sweat and practically radiated the horny vibes. We're gonna send him to horny jail. Solo, another little 23-year-old Filipino girl with an obsession for anime equal to apples, thus them being close friends since middle school. And we got Peaches and her boyfriend. That's Apple's little sister and her boyfriend. Well, you're hanging out with all kinds of Filipinos. Where you from? Chino or something? You from Bakersfield? I don't think OP's even from California. But anywho, on with the story. Stratbeard and I talked a bit more over time. Oh, you're still talking to this guy. Okay, we're not gonna start it that way. Wow, you're still talking to this guy. That's great. He was still my best friend's boyfriend, so make nice, I shall try. Yeah, me too, OP. Me too. So for a couple more months, we would keep on with conversations in Telegram, which never went too far, and it was always weird. He had this thing that always rubbed me the wrong way, though. Giggity. Immediate red flags.
In regards to your polyamorous desires, I'm a little possessive about my girls. Likely if you got to that level with me, you'd only be allowed other girls in our little ship, not guys. And I would probably want a piece of those girls too. I know, typical guys. Sorry, but I ain't gay and I don't want your sloppy seconds.
Well, I mean, that's just a level of deep-seated insecurity. He's scared that you're gonna get tore up by a bigger boner and come back to him and be like, is it in yet? Which probably wouldn't be that hard to do, considering all that we know about this man. Still a really weird situation, and definitely not for me, but I'm trying to roll with the punches and be like, okay, most people don't live completely the way that I do. So, all right, grain of salt. He wants you to bring other women home. Which, like, I don't know how that makes you gay and what gives you that kind of right to my body or that of anyone's body, but I digress. He wouldn't be getting either of those from me. Wasn't like he was my mans or anything. During this time, Apple is still aware of what we're doing, but has never really brought it up to me, which she said later was because she was too nervous to talk to me about it. And it was in these fun chats with Stratbeard that I learned Apple may have some feelings for me as well. It had me flustered as hell, and I would constantly bug him about the details because I was still pretty infatuated with this girl, even though I knew that I had no chance romantically. Why do you have no chance? Look at who you're competing with here. I think everything's gonna turn out fine. We had also started seeing each other a lot more too, OP and Stratbeard, mostly as friends. Mostly. I was trying to get along with him for Apple's sake, keeping it friendly. You know, pop his dick in my mouth, friendly stuff like that. I'm sorry, OP. Like I said, I don't mean to give you both barrels again. That ain't fair. Let me take a breath. Okay. He would invite me over to his house to watch him
Play strategy games,
or do other menial shit like
get KFC, or play games with his family.
sounds fucking riveting. This is how I want to waste my life. I have a limited amount of time on this earth. It's ending 1 minute at a time. But no, I'd much rather watch you play 8 hours of Civ 6, okay? Apple would be there a lot of the time too, which was my main reason for going most of the time. I see what's going on there. You're trying to like wiggle your way in. Get a little of that wiggle worm going, right? So it gave me plenty of time to chill with her while he played his games. I also learned that Stratbeard's family is the nicest group of people on this damn planet. Mormons. His mom was so sweet and was always happy to see me anytime that I was there, even letting me tag along on some family outings. His sisters were super interested in me. I don't know why it always goes this direction. Oh, you mean as friends. Okay. My bad. Ah, poor OP. I swear she is a cool person. I like talking with her in the Discord and stuff, so go easy on her comments section. We were all young and dumb at one point, okay? I'm making fun of young and dumb past her, not current her. Anyways, the sisters were super interested in OP and the tattoos, and they let her hold the turtles and take them outside to watch them nibble on some grass. Just generally amazing people. But I would always eventually be pulled back into the void of Stratbeard's room or his car. Now, an important detail for later is that Strat would try to set up these awkward situations where Apple would leave the room and he would try to stage it so I would be doing something with him, having me in sexually compromising positions when she got back, which is weird as hell, and I would almost always say no, which he would pout and whine about until I just peaced out and went to go hang out with his sisters. Now having people to escape to was a blessing. I mean, it's pretty obvious he's trying to get the three-way goer right there, but that is about the lamest thing that you can do is whine about it when she says no. Come on. Just let me get on top of you. Come on. Like some woman is going to be like, oh, God, I wasn't into it until you started bitching and crying at me. Now hop on, fat boy. Nah, dude. Nah. Going about it all wrong, see? So, now to the meat of this story. Apple's birthday was upon us, and she had invited Strat, Peaches and her boyfriend, Solo, and me. Strat had picked me up, and we were on our way to meet up with the rest of the group for lunch before heading into the meat of the day. We stopped at Pieology and got some custom little pizzas, and then headed off to a mini golf and laser tag place that also had an arcade and go-kart area. Shit, yeah, sounds like the best birthday. Upon getting there, we immediately got our putt-putt on and did a game, which went pretty well, considering that we all sucked at mini golf. But after that, Apple decided to hang out with Solo in the arcade, and for some reason, Strat was getting annoyed, so me and him went outside to chat. God, what an insecure little bitch man. Stratbeard.
Jeez, it's almost like I'm not even here.
OP, what do you mean? Strat?
She isn't even hanging out with me, her boyfriend, and is instead hanging out with her stupid friend.
OP? Well, she did say Solo and her only see each other like once a year, so it kind of makes sense. Plus, if you want to hang out with her, then you still can. Nothing's stopping you. Stratbeard.
No, you don't get it. She won't even care that I'm there. Plus, she gets to hang out with Solo all week. They're sleeping over at Apple's house, so they have all the time in the world to do, like, stupid stuff together.
OP? It's also kind of her fucking birthday party, and she gets to decide what and who she does stuff with. Oh yeah, don't worry about Stratbeard. He just bitch made. It's so ridiculous, dude. Like, you just want to be the center of the universe 24/7? Let people go and do their own shit, man. She'll come back to you. And if she don't worry about that neither. Be a fucking man. Take it in stride, for God's sakes. At this, Stratbeard got very quiet. I couldn't wrap my brain around why this man felt the need to contradict himself by complaining about how Apple wasn't around him right now, when Stratbeard literally separated himself from her on her birthday. Now probably realizing that he wasn't going to get me to get on his side with this, we went back inside and did something else for a while, before the others decided that it was getting late and we should all get going. Strat was yet again staying away from Apple because
she didn't want to be around me.
Oh yeah, that's the way to fix it. Pouting. What an alpha male. God damn, dude. Address the problem or get over the problem, but don't whine like a petulant child. Stratbeard has some suspended adolescence. At this point, Apple had a sour look to her and had asked to talk to Stratbeard on the side. I don't exactly know the details. I did, however, hear later on that Apple got upset at Stratbeard for constantly separating from the group on her birthday and not even telling her why. See? Address the issue, idiot. To the point that Peaches and Solo had asked why Stratbeard kept running off with me. Great. This is certainly a great way to win over the girl that I like. Oh boy, everybody's losing. Is Apple growing a spine? You love to see it. We all got into our cars after a couple minutes of Apple talking to him and started to head off back. Peaches and her boyfriend went straight home afterwards, but Strat, Apple, Solo, and I went back to Strat's house to finish off the day with some movies. Strat tried to touch me on the way back, but I was very uncomfortable with it and just told him to stop because I was burnt out and not in the mood right now. So he begrudgingly stopped and went on driving us back to his place.
Oh, I'm so sad.
I bet this dude's world is just like crashing down around him because he can't find any value in himself, so he finds value in these low self-esteem women who will sleep with him and allow him to sleep with other women. And now he's been rejected, so the slow but sure implosion process has been started. You just watch. Now, this should be the end of any creepiness. We're gonna watch a silly, feel-good movie that both Apple and Stratbeard enjoyed. I mean, like, in a living room setting, where there is easy sitting for everybody, and generally a good way to comfortably end a very weird birthday. This should have been great. Stratbeard thought it was the best, instead, that we go to his small, box-like room, and have 2 people on the beanbags on the floor, and 2 people on his bed. Ugh. Now, I should say, Strat's room had this unavoidable funk to it. It was so musty and bad. Ugh. As if he hadn't washed his pillows and sheets in years. Ugh, God. And if you looked at his bed, it was covered in dandruff flakes. Oh, God. Because this man was shedding the stuff. Like his scalp was actively trying to send us a distress call. Which it was. But the accumulated skin flakes and moisture and smell of old food on his desk made being in his room a headache for me. Oh, see, that's the cringe that I love. Just describe the disgustingness. Yeah, it does hurt me, but on some level I enjoy it. Like eating spicy food, but for your spine and your brain. But it was late, and Strat's dad was passed out on the couch. Shit. Oh boy, we're going into the den. So once we got inside, Apple and Solo were quick to go do something outside the room after we had set up seats and beanbags for our, movie night. And Strat had one of his
Scandalous ideas.
again. Stratbeard.
You should blow me right now.
OP. What? Why the fuck would I do that? Strat,
so Apple and Solo can walk in and see.
OP, and then what? Solo assumes I'm a terrible person and freaks out on us for you cheating on Apple on her birthday? Fuck no. Strat,
You don't have to be such a buzzkill, you know.
OP, let's just watch the goddamn movie. I don't want to talk about this. And as OP pushes him away harder, he's gonna like try harder to cling. It's gonna get really cringy, I'm pretty sure about that, if it's not already. And so with that, Stratbeard just shuts the fuck up, and Apple and Solo eventually come back with snacks after doing whatever the hell they were doing, and we all picked our spots. Stratbeard was adamant on me sitting with him on the bed while Apple and Solo sat on the floor to watch, which was very awkward given the fact that Apple wanted to cuddle with her boyfriend, but Stratbeard wanted her friend, i.e. me, to be with him on the bed instead. It is really weird. Even as like the friend who doesn't know what's going on with the relationship dynamic, I'd be like, hey, excuse me, this doesn't seem right. But we booted up the movie, Barbie's Princess and the Pauper. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back. Barbie's Princess and the Pauper. My 9-year-old used to watch this when she was like 4 or 5. She's over it now. What are a bunch of 20-somethings doing watching this shit? God damn. OP's with me on this. I kind of winced at it, but whatever. Apparently it was both Strat and Apple's favorite thing to watch together, so I persisted. Bro, Arrested Development is real. Suspended adolescence all over this bitch. During the movie, Strat made it a point to try and touch me again under the blankets, and I kept pushing him away from me while he just continued to try, even during the fucking songs where he and Apple are duetting. Stratbeard is still trying to touch me under the blankets. It's starting to get on my last nerve, so I decided to talk with him after this was all over and get my point across. Apple and Solo went back into Apple's house to relax and hang out further, while Strat had to take me home, which was like 30 or so minutes away. On the car ride, we had our little conversation. OP, bro, what the fuck is your problem? Strat, OP, why the hell were you touching me during the movie, dude? It was really inappropriate. Not a good time to do that shit. Stratbeard,
I don't know what you mean. You told me you weren't in the mood earlier, but since you sat next to me, I assumed.
OP, don't assume shit. I sat next to you because you asked me to. I could have said no, but you would have been all pissy at me. Accurate. She got his number for sure. Stratbeard,
Well, tell me that next time before doing something like that.
to which I just shut down for the night and zone into my music for the rest of the time until we get home. And I was quick to get back inside and go the fuck to sleep. Yeah, today was just too much, and sleep was as close to the sweet embrace of death as I could get at the time. Sorry if these posts read kind of funny, but I'm new to this, but I am happy that they are getting read at all. Big shout out to the ReddX Discord, folks. Bless all of you because you are wonderful. If you haven't joined the Discord already, please do consider joining it from both OP and I. Hopefully, I can get a part 3 up soon. Well, this story definitely didn't bring on the impotent rage that I had in the last story regarding OP's actions. It's pretty interesting that between then and now, you seem to have grown more of a spine, you know? It seems difficult to nail down the exact reason why that is. Maybe something to do with Apple, I would assume. You're more into her than you are into him, which I don't blame you for, you know? If I got the choice between a big fat neckbeard and a tiny Filipina, you know I'm going with the Filipina every time. A married one, for God's sake. There is still a little bit of naivete that's going on, you know. He's like, hey, come and sit next to me on the bed. Well, you should have seen that one coming. Shut that shit down immediately and been like, sit next to your girlfriend, you weirdo. Call him out publicly. Shame him. Shame. I think that's the only thing that he really understands. Well, he doesn't stand up and really like respect your decisions like a man. At least he goes into like this pouting mode instead of a raging aggressive mode, which is about the worst case scenario. But I guess we'll see how the story unfolds when we get into part 3. I'm really liking this a lot better than I liked part 1. So great job, OP. You're making massive strides in this class. I approve. Because that's exactly what I need on my birthday.
My birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Stratbeard Files. Behind the Beard. Mwah, beautiful. I said it before, I'll say it again. Love that subtitle. Hello, and welcome to the Behind the Beard part of Stratbeard's tale. I will be your host, Apple, to give you readers a bit of background and a different perspective of what my relationship over the years with Stratbeard was like. Be warned, this is not safe for work, and it is long. It took over 11 years of dating him. Oh God, how is that even possible? So I'm gonna do my best with only dropping key aspects of his character and basically try to sum up what our relationship was. And trigger warning, mentions of pedophilia and abuse. So let's get into this, starting with the characters. Apple. This will take place within a large span of years, starting at 13 all the way up to 24. Growing up under a rock most of my life with no real knowledge of how relationships should work or what I needed in one, which left me naive and susceptible to manipulation. I have a style sense that's like a mix of late 90s teens and a grandma in the 50s. I'm not really sure what to call that other than a demisexual mess. Stratbeard was a year younger than me, and when we first met, he was a good kid that was the subject of bullying for many years, and that probably messed with his psyche too much to be repairable without some professional intervention. He had a signature look about him, had dark brown curly hair, and was really tall. He wore graphic t-shirts, usually something nerdy or with a pun involved, and blue jeans. Nothing else. No jackets, no long sleeves of any kind, no button-up, no bracelets, not even like a nice wallet. He had a duct tape wallet that he made himself. Hunter, a friend in high school who clicked with me immediately. Anime, drama, and D&D nerd. And he had this sleek style with lots of chains and dark colors. Blue, an amazing friend, our original OP for these stories, and a rock during hard times. She's got this grungy rocker girl aesthetic going on that drew me to her. Alright, looks like Hunter's the only new one, but we shall incorporate him as we see fit. So now let us dive into the story. It of course all started in high school in the year of 2011. I'd been moved around to different places and schools all of my life, and while making friends did come easy to me, it was starting to become too much of a burden to get attached to people only to end up leaving them after a couple of short years. So when my freshman year started in this little Christian town in the middle of nowhere, California, I never really bothered to try making any more friends. And I guess this gave people a sort of reason to still keep trying to talk to me. Well, yeah, people want to break down that wall. Mysterious vibes in that. A lot of what would be considered the popular girls would come up to me and check the vibe and ask me stuff. And I would always answer politely and walk away because no. Just no. I'm nothing like these girls who were so perfect and utterly normal. I was a big anime nerd who loved children's shows, was nowhere near the straightest noodle, and I read comics for crying out loud. Insecurities were high, and my declining mental health painted a very clear picture of what these small-town conservative teens would be treating me like had I been open to them from the start. But one day, one of these girls came up to me and said that I need to ask someone to the Sadie Hawkins dance that year. OP? Okay. Why? Girl. 'Cause girls asked the guys this year, duh. I meant, why did they want me to go? But instead I said, then I don't have anyone to ask, trying my best to just shrug them off and move on to my next class. The girl said, then you should definitely ask Stratbeard. Maybe you guys would be good together. I actually didn't know who the hell she was talking about. I didn't make an effort to remember my classmates' names. So I said, OP, oh, then do you want to ask him for me? I'm kinda shy. Girl, okay. Wait, that worked? Why was this girl so willing to do this for me? It's all a sick joke, I'm sure. And soon enough, she brought me with her to introduce Stratbeard. And immediately, as soon as she said it, Stratbeard stormed off, looking upset. It was a joke. A goddamn bully had me become part of the joke that they were pulling on him. Yep, called that one. They wanted to get a reaction out of him because apparently I was someone who was way out of his league. The day went on after that, but not without some guilt, knowing that I was part of some sick joke to this poor dude that I had never even met. I made it a point to try and talk it out with him the next day. I apologized and even tried to make some simple conversation. OP, you know, I really wouldn't mind going with you. Stratbeard,
Really? We're going together?
OP, what? Oh, I guess. Yeah. I was slightly taken aback because that wasn't really an official asking out to the dance, at least not how it would usually go. I felt like I had just led this guy on and owed him the dance, at the very least. So confused and unsure of what to do, I just walked away. Or actually, more like booked it to my next class. That had nothing to do with Stratbeard. I was just an awkward freshman that really didn't like to talk to people and just wanted to finish the day. But it turned out that we had all of our classes together, and soon enough, by lunch, everyone knew that I had asked Stratbeard to the dance. Oh god. Your journey as a social pariah starts now. While I was wanting to just sit at a table and try to text my friends from other schools to catch up on their shenanigans, I instead had a slew of people come up to me with so many questions. Did you really ask him? What'd he say to you? Why did you ask him? Do you like him? Is he your type? What's your type? What did you even like about him? Why the hell did they care so much? Like really, was there honestly nothing better to do? Well, yeah, bro, this is high school. This is what we do. That's most of what high school is, isn't it? Bad lunch and infidelity. Is this really the most interesting thing that's fucking happening here? I answered their questions and just let them talk amongst themselves. Then lunch mercifully passes, and so did my interests in socializing with anyone after that experience. School ended, and about the time that I started to head home, Stratbeard comes up to me and says,
Can I pass you notes during class?
And okay, that was kinda cute. How could I not agree to that? OP, sure. And days go by with a lot of note passing, and a slightly alarming amount of them being, Stratbeard,
I think about you all the time.
or
You're all that I want.
there were even pie charts of how much he liked my appearance. Yeah, hair, that's like a 30%. Eyes is like 20%. That booty, that's the full 40%. And then, you know, what are we up to now? 90? Yeah, the boobs is 5 and your shoes is 5. I guess. Well, how do you even make a pie chart like that? Oh, to be young again. I can now, in my mid-20s, say that this was indeed strange behavior, and I should not have engaged with it. But back then, I really wasn't sure what to think. Maybe this is something that was normal to send to your crush. Yeah, bro, panties always dropping for those Excel pie charts. If he doesn't give you an Excel pie chart, does he really even care? But then the notes turned to texting, and then to physical advances, and then him asking me to kiss him in the darker hallways and hold him in the back rooms in the drama class. And with each day, he got bolder. Unsure of how to appropriately react to all of this, I would just agree to everything. Oh no. And when Stratbeard asked if we were dating, I said, yeah. These are all signs of things that people do when they're dating, right? And I definitely didn't want to think of the implications if we weren't dating. Like, was I just that easy? Would I really just let any guy touch me? No, I was dating him. And yeah, totally, I liked him. And that's why I allowed all of that. And legitimately, I did like him. He was mathematically intelligent, linguistically advanced. He understood my little quirks and my family situations, leaving promises to
Take me away from it all.
oh yes, feed me more saccharine lies. To protect me and show me
How I should be loved.
I was putty to all these sweet, empty promises that he gave me, ready to morph into what he needed from me and what he wanted me to be for him. I was a beautiful doll to his family, treating me like I was one of their daughters, and I was a child, indeed crying for parental love, to the way he showed me what abuse was and what it meant. I'm not sure what that sentence means at the end there, but okay. Oh, to look back at how sad and pitiful I was back then. I craved the affirmation that I was good enough for anyone to love. And then I found someone to love me, or an approximation thereof. And I latched on for dear life, for fear that my mind had finally cracked, and this was all a fantasy of the squirrel that was running on a wheel inside of my head. Well, the dance came and went, and eventually the years came and went as well. A lot of questionable developments happened within that time, one being that Stratbeard had, kinks that he wanted me to share with him. He liked the
daddy-daughter kink,
to the point that he would let it bleed out to just daily life, like a cut artery, just going everywhere and showing no signs of stopping. I really do try not to kink shame, but that is a weird one. No kink shame, but definitely fucking no kink same. He would sometimes talk down to me or belittle me like I was a child who knew absolutely nothing. He also had a habit of using my aversion to conflict to get what he wanted. Nonetheless, Stratbeard became someone that I could genuinely open up to, until he said,
We need to break up.
What?
My parents said I should wait until after high school to be in a serious relationship. And I'm really serious about you. So we should stay friends and just date after high school.
Hello, logic. I loved his family to pieces, and I never wanted to upset the people whom I even considered a second family. So begrudgingly and heartbroken, I agreed. Time passed as friends, but Stratbeard's family needed help in another town and had him moved and switched schools to make all that easier. During these times, I hadn't really kept in touch with him after we'd broken up, so I just casually floated in high school. No one really knew me, and no one really cared. Like I said, social pariah. And then, during junior year, new students started to show up, older students left their mark on the school, and a new friend rolled around. Hunter was flamboyant, funny, and really liked art and theater. Immediately we became friends after arguing over some lore in a show that we both liked, and just as immediately as our friendship started, so did the rumors. How unfortunate was I that Stratbeard's dad worked as the computer teacher at this school, and as soon as he heard, he went to his son about it. The very next day, I get a text from Stratbeard.
Hey, we're still friends, right? Can we talk?
And we did. I caught him up on everything that had happened to me, and I got to know what he was up to, but it was really off. Stratbeard sounded like I had stolen his family treasure or something. He sounded offended while I talked about my new friend Hunter, and he even said that he
didn't like the idea of me being friends with Hunter, or the fact that everyone thinks that I would date him.
Stratbeard told me that
he felt like I lied to him
when I promised that we would get back together after high school. And then he called me a
bad friend for ghosting him and having the gall to rub this in his face.
Okay. Wow. Did I just hit a nerve? Because I got hit with a whole load of cold emotions from every single direction. Are friends supposed to act possessive like that? Attacking my character as a person when I was just talking about my fucking day to try and catch up with you? What the actual hell just happened? I get it. He definitely didn't like it that me and Hunter got so close after only a day of knowing each other. Okay, understandable. And ghosting him, it isn't really how I would describe both of us not talking to each other, but yeah, I didn't really reach out to him either, so fair enough. But where exactly did I lie? And one argument led to another, and suddenly we're back together? What the hell? That is not how this is supposed to work. That's not how any of this works. The details are kind of fuzzy. I don't know how he got me to get back together with him during the argument, but I do assume that it was from my side, so the conflict would just end. Oh, OP, my god. I hope you smarter now. I want to use age as an excuse, but junior in high school, man? Fuck. Come on. Like a doused flame, Stratbeard was no longer pissy, and I felt like I had an old friend back. How quickly I forgot his condescending demeanor, this male chauvinist, whom I give so much of myself up to, only to have it spat right back at me. And still, no matter how he acted in our time together, I would constantly turn a blind eye, because of some of the better qualities that he had. At some point, he really did have me believing that he was better than me in every way. What exactly are the better qualities? He's linguistically advanced and lies to your face? Fuck this dude. Years and years go by, and we left high school behind, and this long-distance relationship that we for some reason pursued was on a melting ice cap. While on the surface it looked nice and stable, the mountain hidden underneath the water threatened to topple you over. He was in Virginia, and I was stuck in the middle of dead-ass nowhere, California, taking care of my family. My parents getting older and losing themselves each day, my own sanity slipping between my fingers as I did my best to try and stay strong. So, of course, this would be the perfect time for Stratbeard to ask me
if he could go bang other girls.
He would point out to me that
my sex drive never really matched his, and he needed more than that.
I was hurt by the truthfulness of this, because yeah, I fully recognize that I'm not as sexually driven as he is, or as much as normal people are, really. I do understand where he's coming from, but I really wasn't too comfortable with the idea of my boyfriend just hooking up with whoever in another state. Yeah, you gonna come on back and bring you AIDS. A lovely welcome home gift. And you would think that when I brought that up to him, it would be the end of the discussion. But oh no. He would tell me all the time that
he could have done something with someone, but he didn't.
And he would tell me all about his fantasies of him with other girls. He would tell me in detail about how he found his coworkers attractive. And he even sent me photos of pictures that he was able to sneak of their ass or their face, or God forbid they had a camel toe. The fact that you're sitting through enduring all of this is just mind-blowing to me. I think I said it in the first Stratbeard story, but yeah, have some self-respect, grow a spine. I hope that you have changed a lot since this, OP, because you're out of high school at this point. You're a fucking grown adult and still just standing by. Perhaps you've experienced some abuse. There's a lot of compromising going on in this mindset. Like, yeah, things suck, but they don't suck as bad as when I was being actively abused, you know? So I also don't want to come at OP too hard, but goddamn, dude. It's hard to sit by and watch. I'll say that. The hell am I supposed to do with these fucking pictures? I would just say, yeah, cool, dude. And try to move on from it. But then he would get upset that I didn't share his enthusiasm. Eventually, I would relent and try to match his creepy elation. God, this whole thing is creepy. Like a stone, grinding a piece of paper down into nothing, I eventually just gave up and told him that he could do as he pleased. I don't need to know about it. I don't care who with. If she gave full consent to it, then whatever. Go for it, dude. And boy, did he go for it. Too many encounters to count, and all in all, I'd really rather not get into all that. What was interesting is that he had picked up girls who looked like nothing close to me. While they were all of varying ages and heights, there were things that I did note that they all had in common. White, small breasts or small frames, baby-faced, and had childlike demeanors. Ugh, bad vibes. Stratbeard would later show me that he actively watched, read, or sought out child and cub porn. I'm not even gonna ask what the fuck that is. It sounds horrible. I can infer enough meaning from that to just put him against the wall. Can we put him against the wall already? Jesus Christ, save our gene pool. Disturbed and unsure where to go about this new information and what to do, I would just try to derail the subject and move on past it. Anytime I would tell him that it was wrong or that he should stop, he'd just get pouty and upset, saying,
It's not even real.
or
She's the legal age of consent.
or
It's just women role-playing as kids. It's fine.
or
No, you don't get it. It was just sent to me. It got deleted right afterwards.
OP, did you delete it? Stratbeard,
No, the admin deleted it for everyone.
God, I hated him before, but I would really love to see him get executed now. I would pay cold hard cash money to watch him get shot in the face. The rest of my day would just get ruined in a mess of him getting angry and defending this bullshit, so I eventually gave up on that too. My home life and love life was getting so muddy that college was really my only safe haven. I wouldn't hear any of this toxicity while I was in school, at least. Didn't matter that it was a community college with shitty teachers, and that I eventually had to go back home to my parents to look after them. At least there I felt something that was calm and welcoming. I met new people and I made friends. I could get away from what was happening to my relationship while I was at school, because he would never bother me while I was in class. The boy that I had liked in high school was turning into something awful, and I had no power to stop him. Even worse than that, you basically enabled all of this bullshit. I hate to lay it down for you so flat, but that's the way that I see it. I hope that maybe if he had better, more level-headed friends, they could maybe help him to shape up. So when he came back from Virginia to California, I asked him if he'd like to meet my friends. His first response,
Are any of them single or cute?
Oh, look at this monster you've created. Disgusted that he only wanted to be around my friends
if they were cute girls.
I shut this line of questioning down for a later date, asking again this time, mentioning most of them were already seeing people. He declined and said he was unsure. Well, third time's the charm, right? I asked him once more if he would at least like to be in a group chat with him, to which he said
he would try.
Not even a full hour in, he left the group chat telling me that
they were acting stupid and annoying.
That's how most group chats are, to be honest. I am grasping for straws at this point. I would have liked the people that I held dear and close to me to be friends, or at least acquainted with each other, but Stratbeard just would not budge. He won't talk to any of my friends
unless they're a girl and single.
One friend I knew who was at least open in relationships was Blue. She also seemed to be curious about Stratbeard, so I set up a private chat with just the three of us, and they hit it off. Okay, cool, great. At least he's acquainted with someone in my group of friends. This means he has at least a chance of being more social with the other people that I care about. You mean the ones that he can't bang? Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work out. Oh, hope springs eternal for you, doesn't it, OP? Jesus Christ. The next few days roll around with Blue and Stratbeard talking more personally to each other, though I heard only after his parents had to pay for a tow truck that Stratbeard and Blue had a whole day of fucking around when he was supposed to be out Ubering people. Ah, so my suspicions are exactly right. Apple had no clue what was going on in that fast food bathroom where her boyfriend's getting blown. I hated the story before, but I fucking am livid about it now. Ugh. So yeah, not exactly what I had in mind. But I had given him free rein to do as he pleased sexually, so maybe I should have seen this one coming. See, more of that compromising. The thing is, I wasn't even bothered by it anymore. That stone had ground and pulverized the paper-thin walls that were my reservations to having an open relationship, where I was, I don't know, almost hopeful that I could perhaps pursue some people that I could like. How do you think that's gonna go? Oh God. I brought it up to Stratbeard that maybe I could have a relationship with someone as well, and immediately I was shut down. It's like a train wreck. I can't turn away. He said
that being in a relationship with him meant that I would have no one else but him.
All right, never mind then, I guess.
But if it was a girl, you could be sexual with them, so long as I, of course, controlled the situation.
What? But I'm demisexual. I can't just get sexual with random people. I need to also be romantically invested too. And yeah, that was the point. Stratbeard knew all of that, and he did not hesitate to use it to his advantage. Once again, I felt no power over my relationship. No give and take like Stratbeard had talked about, and apparently no communication either. He prides himself over being
an expert communicator and mediator,
but fell completely flat on all of that when it came to himself. My birthday rolls around, as times have passed, as they tend to do. Turning 23, I was grasping for the people and things that made me the most happy. I only wanted to invite the few people that gave me just that, so my oldest friend from middle school, my newest friend Blue, my little sister, and my boyfriend. Just eat pizza, play mini golf, and watch a movie after that. So why does my boyfriend, Stratbeard, keep pulling Blue away on my birthday? Fuck. Am I really losing my relationship like this right now? You've been losing it for a long time, but yeah, I guess. This is just chickens coming home to roost. My sister comes up to me asking why Stratbeard keeps walking away with Blue, leading my middle school friend to ask the same question. Fuck! Because that's exactly what I need on my birthday. It was getting late, and before we all got to the cars, I pulled him aside, trying to hold the tears back, and I told him, why the hell do you keep walking away from us, from me, on my birthday? Do you really need that whistle nice and wet on your girlfriend's birthday? Stratbeard.
What? No, we were just talking.
OP, okay. Then why leave? Do you know how embarrassing it is to tell my little sister and my best friend when they asked where you went and all I had to say was, haha, I really don't know. Probably out with Blue. And then that leads them to ask why the fuck you're with Blue. And I have nothing else to say except, I don't know. What conclusions do you think that they would come to? Because I can think of a few. Stratbeard.
Listen, I'm sorry you're feeling this way, but really, we just talked.
OP, again, why separate yourself and her from us then? What were you talking about that you had to be so secretive about? If you want to at least do that, then try and be a little more fucking discreet. Stratbeard then gave this look of, "Aw, poor little thing," and wrapped his arms around me, enveloping me in this suffocating, fucking condescending hug. Tears ran freely down my face from a mix of awful emotions that I just wanted to be over. I break away from the hug and say, "It's fine. Let's go watch a stupid movie, yeah?" The day ends rather peacefully, and I end up going home with my middle school friend after the movie, and we just talked all night about silly ideas and games, forgetting the worries of my relationship warping in front of me, or at least saving them for some later date. Sorry if that got really dark really fast, and also about how long this was, but I had to span years of trauma right here. So thank you for sticking it through to the end. Part number 4 is coming up soon. Well, in the very first Stratbeard video, there were a lot of people in the comments going, "Oh, I don't understand how this dude could go out and actually get laid." Well, the truth is, it ain't that hard to get laid. You find somebody with low enough self-esteem and you're basically in. You know, it's not that impressive of a feat. What is an impressive feat is keeping this woman, was a child, now a woman, with you throughout all of this bullshit. I am absolutely shocked, flabbergasted to hear it from the horse's mouth. And honestly, I didn't even hear like really good reasoning. It was basically just endless compromising like, hey, could be worse. Yeah, I suppose it could, but just barely. This is setting the bar really fucking low. God damn. I just want to look OP like right in the face if she hasn't already learned it and say, you're worth more than this. Why did you subject yourself to this? If you're in a similar situation right now, I want to tell you the same thing. Think of how much of your life you have left to live and consider if you actually want to spend it in a situation like this. Can you endure this for 10, 20, 50 years? Definitely not. Self-respect, self-esteem, it's a hard thing to come by, you know, and if you're having trouble with that, I would seriously consider talking to a therapist. It's something that I'm still working on for myself. But even at my darkest, I don't think I would have stood idly by and said, yeah, this is an acceptable state of affairs, because it absolutely fucking isn't. While it's not physical abuse, it is beyond mental abuse without a shadow of a fucking doubt. And I do hope that you're doing better these days, OP. This dude ain't worth a squirt of piss, because Because all he's really offering is empty words, like, woohoo, anybody can fucking make those. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
Stratbeard, Behind the Beard, part number 2. Come one, come all, to the story of Stratbeard's Behind the Beard, with your secondary host, Apple, a story of love lost and love found, or, something like that, which is pretty rare for beard stories. This is another summary of my time with Stratbeard, and also a bit more of what went on after the first part of Stratbeard's Behind the Beard. By the way, feel free to take that title as you please, ReddX. I will be using it for a beard that I saw on the Dr. Phil show, and then I went onto his Facebook, and oh my god, it's a mess, but that content will be coming up probably within the next week or two. Anyways, this is another long one. I'm sorry that I'm not more concise. Don't worry about it. I like them long posts. Warning, not safe for work, also sexual themes. I do want to address some things that concern me when I read the comments on ReddX's video. I actually didn't think ReddX's commentary was harsh or hurtful in any way. It was all very entertaining to listen to. Even when I do come after the OPs, like honestly, it's just jokes. I think Blue and Apple have both been wonderful additions to my Discord server, and yeah, they took everything with a grain of salt. I'm not a malicious person. I just like to talk shit sometimes. I don't know. And I'm more than grateful that they empathized with me and my situation with the very little context that was given. Thank you for reading my story. Hey, thank you for posting it, Takes big balls to put your story out in front of thousands of people. For real. To those out there who truly couldn't understand why I would let this man just walk all over me, that's understandable. Not everyone has the same tolerance and experiences as I had when I was growing up, which is why, now that I'm older, I can feel comfortable in sharing my experiences with Stratbeard, knowing that I am now in a more stable place. And now, on to the characters. Apple! That's OP, short Filipino girl who has been manipulated and ground down into a willing pawn by her boyfriend and also her own mother. Strat, my boyfriend, the neckbeard, overweight and just horny as hell. Also pretty pushy and whiny when things don't go his way. Ah yes, whining, the sign of true alphaness. Blue, a college friend who had been seeing Strat for a little bit and was starting to get pretty standoffish towards him. Peaches, my little sister, defensive of our family and can be pretty blunt. My mom, stubborn Filipino woman who is pretty narcissistic. Immigrated here from the islands, and I have a lot of respect for her journey to where she is now. Our story starts before the winter semester for college, which puts us right after my party. My mother's becoming increasingly difficult for me to handle each day, demanding half of my checks that I got for taking care of her, cooking for her, cleaning the house, gardening, washing her, her husband, and my sister's clothes, all on top of my own, entertaining her constant projects even when they got in the way of my actual studies, keeping me up in the wee hours of the night because she got lonely, and really so much more in the way of bullshit chores. In short, I would constantly give up a lot of myself and my time for their comfort, always with the idea that in the end, I would maybe find peace in it. But no, as always, my naivete got the better of me. All I would get in return is how I'm lazy and unemployed and unmotivated and a leech. So, yeah. Not the greatest things to hear from your parents after practically doing all of their shit for them. But you got caretaker checks, like from the government or something? I'm pretty sure she's not supposed to bite into that at all, but I'm also pretty sure that you're not supposed to enslave your daughter into household servitude without, like, helping. So, I don't know. I guess she's playing by her own rules. So, I tried to find refuge at Stratbeard's house and in class, which led to a growing animosity between my mother and Stratbeard. He would disrespect her in such blatant ways that would just egg her on, and in turn, she would tighten her grip on my time outside of the house by giving me too much work piled on top of everything else that I had on my plate already, and I was unable to spend time with my friends. Of course, by the end, I would just be too exhausted to even think of doing anything else but sleeping. Yeah, man, that's abuse. That's very not okay. It's like a fucking real-life Cinderella or something, except Prince Charming turns out to be a fat fucking neckbeard. A horror story! My only real thoughts at this time were that it's fine, we're fine, I just need to save up for a couple more years, and then I'd be able to move out and live on my own. I wouldn't, but I could damn well dream. Sometimes that's all that keeps us going. Anyways, new semester, had to talk to a counselor and do a bunch of other things, and my boyfriend Stratbeard was helping me along the way because he was finally going to college again after his parents encouraged him to after dropping out of his 4-year university a couple of years prior. Everything was going fairly decent, to say the least, until I got a call from my mother going into another episode about how
I was destroying the life she expected from me, and that if I wanted to be around Stratbeard so much, then I should just move in with him.
You know what? Okay. It's kind of out of the frying pan and into the fire, but it is a good way to stick it to your mom, I guess. This whole situation with trying to appease my mother while still trying to have a life was becoming too tiresome a burden and had just gone on for too long. So straight after that call, I went to Stratbeard's parents. My initial plan was to talk to one of the homeless shelters in the city and just grab the few things that I needed, put them in my car, and go. Me talking to Stratbeard's parents about this was really supposed to just be me venting my frustrations and getting their opinions, and then maybe saying goodbye. Surprisingly, they instead opened their doors to me, wholeheartedly and with no hesitations. Said that because Stratbeard's grandfather was living right next to them, Stratbeard could stay there while I took his old room at their house. I nearly got whiplash by how incredibly willing they were to take me in. And you don't have to share a room with a stinky neckbeard? I mean, you gotta live in his ex-neckbeard nest, but hey, it's better than being a household servant, isn't it? I'd cried to them about my home situation from time to time before, and I admit I envied the freedoms that Stratbeard's family gave to him. Hell, I was 23 years old, living under a curfew of 9 p.m. with limited media choices, limited time outside the house, showing my parents exactly what I was doing online, and also showing them why I needed to be outside of the house. That is absolutely insane. Limited media choices? Or are they just limiting you to Disney Plus? Like, that's all you get to watch? God, that's horrible. Are you fucking kidding me? And if I didn't give acceptable reasons for why I needed to be away, I would be locked by the looming front gates because they never gave me a spare key to them. Jesus. But you know, a key to the front door was enough, just not the key to open the gate after the front door. Yeah, logic. Your parents are nuts, bro. At 16, I get it. At 23, let go, man. Your kid is definitely supposed to be their own person, or learning how to be their own person at that point. Ugh. I was 23 years old, and still was never allowed to sleep over at a friend's house, or talk to strangers unless my parents were around. To say that they were helicopter parents is an understatement. Stratbeard has never had to experience that. His parents loved and trusted how they raised him, enough to let him make his own decisions in life, like move states away on his own with no job and no intentions to continue college. Oh, and a plane ticket and first month's rent and the deposit fully covered by said parents. Good God, what incredible parents. Yeah, but regardless of all that hand-holding, look at what they raised. Ugh. I'd rather have my child struggle a little bit and become their own person than hold their hand the whole way and have them be a neckbeard. Stratbeard's parents told me that they'd be more than happy to house and help me with anything that I needed because they had seen me as their own daughter already. That's all I needed. Now, more than ready to leave the chokehold that my family gave into the open arms of another family where I could experience a more free type of love. Now, was this the wisest decision that I had made? Well, to this day, I'm still not quite sure about that. The distance I was able to get from my family helped me to later form a more mature relationship with my family in the future, so I think that this was needed on both my end and my parents, though I do think that the whole situation was handled kinda poorly. Well, life ain't perfect, man. We're all struggling through, including parents. Sometimes I think especially parents. I guarantee you that they thought they were doing what was best for you, but from the outside looking in, yeah, it's pretty fucked up. When Stratbeard agreed to the new conditions, we got to grabbing my stuff from my parents' home and moving it into Stratbeard's old room. With the help of Blue and Strat, we were set to finish this up rather quickly. My parents weren't home, and my sister was still at school, giving us the much-needed time to collect everything and just go. You probably should have a conversation about it at the very least. I had a small room, so it should be easy. I had high hopes to just pick everything up in one afternoon or so, and then settle everything down at night. Me and Blue worked tirelessly, stuffing all of my essentials into bags and boxes, while Stratbeard just sat on the bed, on his phone. Literally would not lift or touch or do anything until I begged him to do it. This hulking man that could effortlessly move large appliances and furniture with ease was content to just let two girls lift all the bags and boxes instead. And even when I did finally get Stratbeard to help, all he did was complain about almost everything. See all this handholding from his family? Now he's bitch made. He'd complain about
How awful my family was.
or that we
Had to help clean my room at my grandpa's house now.
or other stuff that really got under my skin, like
You've got so much stuff. You're gonna have to leave most of this.
his room fared no better, seeing as his whole closet was overtaken by random electronics, My Little Pony merch, old consoles, computers, etc. You get the picture. And this even bled over to his dresser. Its full purpose was to give him that functioning space for his clothes because his closet was too full to put any more shit into it. A $60 antique dresser his parents bought for him, big enough to take up half the wall, and yet he still had no space for his clothes. Well, at that point, his only option was to put his clothes scattered onto the bed or on the floor. And he still had the balls to say,
Hey, your room's a mess. When you're in my room, it better not look like this.
Bitch, you'll be talking to the back of my hand in a minute. While my former room may have been full, I only wanted to keep specific stuff that was mine, like clothes and stuffed toys and art supplies. It wasn't anything that we weren't able to fit into my car. To give you some perspective, the room I had was considered a maid's quarters or guest room. Fitting. Only ever enough room for a bed and a desk. But my family also used my room for their storage. So it was really just packed with hoarded furniture, too big to really fit, empty boxes, unwanted gifts, etc. And I had to make do with the space that I had, so everything looked packed in it, and yes, thus it was messy. And my hobbies of art and accessorizing fashions didn't help this at all. Bro, that family situation is just too wild. Using your room as storage? Ugh, I wouldn't have it. Though Stratbeard seemingly understood that, why the hell complain about it? And now, of all times, I'm moving out of my parents' house on bad terms, which left me an emotional wreck. What do you expect this beard to do? Like, try and hold you together? Dude can hardly fucking hold himself together. I'm so afraid to confront my family that I'm now rushing to get all my things in boxes or bags, like a tornado, ransacking the room and having Blue run it out to the car. Again, you should probably have a sit-down conversation. It might get emotional, it might turn into a screaming match, but at the end of the day, you're 23 and you are leaving. Anyways, my emotional state was a mess of worrying about what to bring, what I was allowed to bring, what I needed, and would my parents accuse me of stealing again? And then backpedaling to being depressed that I was even in this situation, where my family was so agitated by my life choices that they'd hold it all over me. Then I was also inwardly angry from fights that had transpired before this, pushing me so far into a corner with literally only forcefully leaving as my escape. And all of it made me scared. Truly scared that I'd say something so irreparable I'd later come to regret it. My family not being present in these moments was truly a blessing. I'll take your word for it on that. One of those agree to disagree situations. And yet, it was short-lived. Because Stratbeard really wasn't much of a help with packing, we were still at it until night fell, and my family eventually got home. My sister Peaches ignored me as soon as she saw what was going on, while my mother stormed right towards us, face plastered with rage. She stood at the door, effectively blocking us from leaving my tiny room, unmoving and silent. Deadly silent. My nerves were already on edge throughout the day. I needed to say something. Apple, you told me that if I wanted to stay with Stratbeard that I should just leave. Mom, anong ginagawa ng trantadang babaeng yang dito? What's that stupid girl doing here? She said while pointing at Blue. She said it in Tagalog, so Blue and Stratbeard didn't really understand what she had said, so they thought they should just pick up the bags of clothes so they could get it all ready and bring them to the car. Apple, she's helping me move. Mom, paalisin mo siya? Naninirang buhay lang yan? Tell her to leave. She's just ruining lives. I had asked Blue to wait outside of the house. Bear in mind that this was around December, in the dead of night. She had on just t-shirts and a short, and the blistering, freezing wind gave no fucks out on my parents' front porch. Yet, like the incredible friend that she was, she did not ask why. She just left, and waited until I could sort things out. No questions asked. Now, I have seen a lot of comments questioning if Blue was really that good of a friend, but I think people need to remember that we are only getting like a fraction of the story, the history that these two have together. So even while Blue was out banging the boyfriend who supposedly had permission to bang whoever he wanted, there is still some sort of connection here that has kept them together this long, and maybe we will get into it at some point in the future. I'm not going to comment on it too much, just because I don't know everything except what has been presented, and most of what has been presented is focusing on the beard. Anyways, once again, my mother asked what was happening. Oh good, now I'm allowed to speak. But I was ultimately cut off again by Stratbeard. Stratbeard,
We're here to help move her things for her.
Mom, are you getting married? Why does she talk different in English than Tagalog? Stratbeard shuts up and looks at me, and I am in my head just seething. Like, really? You wanted to take control of the situation, but pussied out when you got nothing to retort? Don't fucking look at me. I am a single breath away from exploding. Why can't he fucking see that? Alright, fine. If you want me to talk, then let me handle it. Apple, no, we're not. I'm moving to his parents' house, and he'll be Mom, you will not share a room! God fucking damn it! My patience is at the limit. So I shut down. Nope, won't let me speak? Okay, I won't. Won't hear a fucking peep from me. And in turn, I also refuse to listen. I'm done talking. I start picking things up again, and she yells all sorts of nonsense, most of which I blocked out then, so I sadly don't remember them now. Probably not so sadly, but I think that this counts as an implosion rather than an explosion. Which one's healthier? Neither. Sitting down and having an adult conversation is probably the healthiest way to do this, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen at this point. So eventually, Stratbeard did lay out the whole situation, I believe, saying something along the lines that
he'd be staying at his grandfather's house and not where I was, cause there just wouldn't be any room.
I'd gathered most everything now and just needed to get it to the car, but my mother was still blocking the path. So with finality and exasperation in my voice, I said, I need to get my things in the car to leave. Blue is helping us with it. Can she come in? And the tone shifted. She said yes and let us finish. See? Talking like adults. Proud of you. When all was finished, she had asked me and Stratbeard to sit down and talk to her about our plans for the future. Oh, I love it. The whole situation's turning beautiful. Awesome. It was mostly her talking at us and not to us, but eventually she did understand that this was my unshakable decision. I wasn't backing out, and I had apparently wanted this so much that I would risk breaking my relationship with my family. Finally, offering an olive branch, she wished me the best with Stratbeard and asked that I still keep in touch. Told me that if I needed anything, I could always rely on my parents. Though in my time at Stratbeard's home, I never really took her up on that. Well, it's good that you didn't need to, but it is important to have a support system, and your mom seems like a lovely lady. Like I said, she's just doing her best, as far as I can tell. And finally, I felt free. I mean, at the time, I know there was an enormous weight lifted from my shoulders. I could now fully live the life that I wanted to live. For myself, to better myself. Little did my dumbass brain know that being fully dependent on someone else who had their own agendas was in fact not free. But I was around a new set of people who had only ever shown me love and understanding. What could possibly go wrong? My first night at Stratbeard's house. I was actually scared and felt that I wouldn't be sleeping sound that night, so before Stratbeard was off to drive Blue back to her place, I asked Blue if she wanted to stay the night with me, and then asked Stratbeard's parents if they'd be okay with that since so much has happened, and I really just needed some time and emotional support from a friend. That night, we talked, and well, held each other close. I was catching feelings, falling for a girl who was so beautiful, funny, endearingly quirky, and for some fucking reason found me interesting enough to even be around. I got to learn so much about her over the times that we spent talking at school, and that night gave me an inkling that she may have liked me too. Soft touches and whispered words in the night. We didn't get much sleep, but it was all the comfort that I needed. Does that sound Hallmark enough? You like that gay-ass Christmas special? Yeah, I do. Thanks for that. Christmas was fast approaching, and to my surprise, everyone in Stratbeard's family had gotten me a gift. I mean, like, literally everyone. This was an overwhelming amount of generosity. I had almost expected a reluctant welcome into Stratbeard's home and family, but this definitely stopped that fear right out. They wanted me here, and the days that passed told me that they wanted me to stay. Because of how much they cared for me, I would always find a way to try and return the favor back to them. I stayed there rent-free, so I would help his dad with little projects. He mostly just wanted people to listen to his crazy invention ideas anyways. They fed and paid for my meals, so I'd help them clean up after meals. Just normal small things to show them that I appreciate what they did for me and that I loved being around them. His whole family was amazing, and from the bottom of my heart, I still love them. Well, that's good vibes. If only you could marry the family without marrying Stratbeard. Does he have like a normal brother or something? Time passed as I stayed in Stratbeard's home. Months go by, and Stratbeard never really moved out of his room, really. He kept everything the way that it was, and had just expected me to try and fit my things in with all his other shit. He got me those flat storage bins that go under your bed, so I'd have a place to put my clothes because
The closet and dresser wasn't an option.
for a couple months I'd have to go to my car to get a change of clothes or some other items that I needed, because even if I slept there, Stratbeard made it very clear that it was not my room. See, everything's lovely, good vibes, except for that. Dude doesn't know how to share. Just the childliest of man-children. Thus, Stratbeard would always be in the room, late at night, still playing video games on his TV screen when I needed to sleep for school and for work, and then he would be there in the mornings before I woke up, because all of his clothes and other shit were there. His door didn't have a lock, so I had no privacy to just enjoy being alone. And as you would expect, being around someone nearly 24/7, I'd started to notice some very troubling aspects of Stratbeard. In fact, they were now so hard to ignore because I was living with him. One of them was that he hated doing any manual labor. Well, actually, any kind of labor, really. He hated working outside, hated working with anything that was or could be sticky, hated dirt and grass, hated lifting, hated loud environments. The list just goes on. Like I said, he bitch made. And when I say hated, I mean he avoided them like any of those listed could kill him, and he would drop dead. If only we'd be so lucky. Another thing that I noticed was that he was very assertive in an emotionally manipulative way, and he had no problems with doing it to anyone. His friends, his sisters, his own mother and father, all to get what he wanted. He would use their faults or their compassion to give him empty promises that he would then hold over their heads. The third thing that I noticed was that he was a very hateful man and found joy in being a hateful critic, mostly because I'm pretty sure he hates himself deep down inside, but that conversation is too difficult to have. It's much easier to hate everything around you than to question why it is that you feel so badly about yourself. And I don't mean he was like bashing on the newest trends once in a while or anything. I mean, he only found enjoyment out of something if he could abhor said thing. I could not watch anything he didn't already like, not unless I wanted to listen to him rip the show or movie to shreds for the whole duration of it. And then afterwards, he'd make me feel idiotic or little for liking it. I told him once that I didn't want to watch a specific show with him because I didn't want to hear his opinion about the show before I could form my own. He started to pout about not watching it with him, and they got upset at how I wasn't accepting of how he enjoys media. Is that enjoyment? My thoughts exactly. But whatever, I relented, and then I had to turn it off because he thought,
"This was so stupid. I don't know how you could stomach this trash. I feel like I lost brain cells in just the first 20 minutes.
Apple, I knew you probably wouldn't like it, so I wanted to watch it alone. Stratbeard,
I didn't say I didn't like it.
Right, no. You just called it unpalatable trash. That's totally different. And the last major thing that I noticed is that he basically likes nothing that I did or wanted to do. I would ultimately feel like he never really liked me as a person and just liked the idea of me. Now you're catching on. But I was in it until the end. I had this mentality that I committed myself to this man completely, and without a doubt, I needed to see it through. I mean, it is a good mindset to have. You know, my wife is a Filipina. She's been completely committed to me throughout the extent of our relationship. Even the points where I was like super broke, we're eating nothing but rice and dried fish. But deep down, she knew that there was something better inside of me, that I could build a better life for us. And because she was so committed, and without doubt, I was honestly pushed to bigger heights. She is the only reason that I am here doing what I love to do so very much today, making a living off of it. I do have to thank everybody that watches the videos or supports on Patreon or anything like that, but really, without wifey, none of it would have stuck. I would have given up on it last October when my computer took a poop, and now we're at 11,000 subscribers, and it's mind-blowing. So I have to commend you for committing yourself to a person, but just make sure that you commit yourself to someone who is capable of more. And it does not seem to me like Stratbeard is capable of, well, not even more, just anything, and then we'll work on more. And the pressure to marry Stratbeard didn't just come from me or him. No, it came from all ends. It came from his siblings asking how many kids I wanted to have after marriage, and from his parents asking why I didn't want to be wed yet, from my own goddamn mom shaming me for not being married before I gave my body over willingly. No, she in fact doesn't know that we did anything. She just says that I have no self-control, ergo we must have had sex. Okay, but she wasn't wrong though. Welcome to the current year. It was maddening. Stratbeard didn't have a job, and I was still a struggling community college student who was only allowed to work like 2 to 4 hour days at her job as a server at a retirement home. Why would I want to get married like this? I get that they were religious, but this was almost too damn much. I had made his dad cry because I told him that I didn't want to have children. And now I know that I am not even on the same wavelength with these people. But I don't know. I really loved them and I loved him at the time, or thought I did. And while I can't change my core personality, I can at least compromise. You don't compromise on having children, man. It's pretty all or nothing. Half a year in, and it felt like that was all that I was doing. Compromising my ideas, my opinions, my interests, my privacy. And soon, I started to realize that this was not the freedom that I had hoped for. Just a warped version of the restraints that I had before. And these wore heavy on me. The weight of responsibilities from people who trusted me and wanted me left me feeling like I couldn't turn back. And there was no other way. Honestly, how could this have happened? I was now given the freedom to leave when I pleased, sleep when I wanted, go finally have a sleepover. I had abused this privilege heavily by staying over at Blue's house every weekend for almost a full month. I could make educated decisions about my life and where I was going, yet it also dawned on me that I relied on these people. I trusted them with my identity and my life, so much so that they were my home now. So it's too late to even think of looking back, right? I had no one to blame but myself, and I grew this ugly self-hatred whose seed had been planted years ago. I hated that I wasn't really like Stratbeard's family. I wasn't a deep-rooted, family-oriented Christian who saw anything that showed a glimpse of nudity as pornography. I didn't do arithmetic equations or read War and Peace for fun. I definitely didn't think Harry Potter was a direct derivative of witchcraft. I have heard that before. I also heard that Pokemon were demons or something like that. It's too wild. But Stratbeard's family did all of these things, and they were much better people than I am. So I needed to change, because if this was going to be my family, then I needed to be a part of it. Jesus, OP, you're so close to the light. You're like, oh, these are warped versions of the restraints that I had before. But also, it's a family that I need to fit into. It's like, no! Chop off the last half of that sentence, man. Oh, how frustrating. I know you're going to get it in the end, but watching the internal struggle happen is just gut-wrenching to me. Easier said than done, Apple, because Blue wasn't having any part of it. Stratbeard often took her to his D&D sessions that were 3 hours away. Because I either had to work or was just too tired to do anything. And he said he
needs someone to keep me company to stay awake for the drive back. I don't want to fall asleep at the wheel and crash.
But falling asleep at the wheel and crashing with a passenger was much safer. Makes sense. Yeah, but I digress. Pretty sus. Pretty sus. It was during their drives together that Blue had to hear Stratbeard complain about serious relationship topics. How he would complain about me
not giving enough in the relationship.
Or complaining about
how unsexual I was. And that it hurt him so much because he was a purely sexual creature who absolutely needed to get off every day with me, or he would lose his mind.
Can't lose something you never had, buddy boy. He would just drop all of that shit right into Blue's lap. Just tell her to handle it, and also tell her to not tell me that he had said anything, to effectively keep me in the dark about how he actually felt. See, Stratbeard needs to have some of those adult conversations as well. Nothing's gonna get better if you don't open up and talk about it. And yet, Stratbeard fully expected me to come clean about anything that I even felt minutely, if it had even mentioned him. Hell, even if it had nothing to do with him, he'd have me tell him anyways, giving a whole spiel about
communication and how I was terrible at it.
Stratbeard must have also thought that telling his girlfriend's best and damn near closest friend about his relationship issues and not confronting it was definitely a sign of true communication. So naturally, Blue worried and stressed out about it for a couple of weeks until she could finally tell me herself what he had said. I then would confront Stratbeard, and he would ignore the issue by turning it into Blue's fault. Stratbeard:
I told her that stuff in confidence because I thought I could trust her.
Trust your partner, you dope. I heard the next day that Stratbeard called Blue
a bad friend,
while still asking for nudes from her. God. And she was visibly upset about the whole situation. She couldn't even tell our friend group why she was upset. I was one of two people who she could talk to about this, but I was also dating the man that caused her this turmoil. Thus, the majority of the time, I would see her internalize her frustrations, going mad from the torture of being in the middle of all this shit. There really is a limit to the misogyny that I could tolerate from one person, though it should really be no tolerance at all, and I confronted Stratbeard about it. Apple, why are you saying that to her? Or why would you do that to her? And he'd always masterfully deflect the questions, or derail it enough that I'd forgotten about it in the end, using my one-track mind to his advantage. However, the worst one that I heard was Stratbeard:
No, she likes it, see?
Then proceeded to either humiliate or belittle Blue in front of me, outside of a controlled or bedroom environment. Like, how do you even process that? All I did was reel back and just watch. What should I have done? I felt sick to my stomach, and stunned anger washed it away only after the fact. Stratbeard was abusing power that Blue lent to him, a power that should not ever be used when the situation did not call for it. I couldn't even ask him to stop treating her like a piece of meat when she very obviously didn't like it, because Stratbeard would turn the conversation in a way that didn't make him at fault, and that nothing he ever did was wrong because he was always right, making my efforts completely futile. No matter how far I went for him or how much of myself I gave up, nothing was ever enough. Blue would constantly warn me about the clear as clean glass flags in mine and Stratbeard's relationship, but I couldn't leave. No, rather I wouldn't leave. He was my life now, and we would work it out. Time heals all wounds, as they say. That's a lie. Time heals all wounds if you stop poking and picking at them, but he's obviously creating new wounds every single day, so no, the wounds aren't going to heal. You're just going to have new wounds with the old wounds. It's fucking madness. I don't understand. But eventually, Stratbeard did have enough. Enough of me, that is. The morning before I had woke up to go to work, he kept moping and just generally being angry. He wanted a blowjob when I had just woken up, and I told him no, which in turn made him all the more huffy. I tried to pry out of him what was really the problem here, because I didn't want to have to walk around on fucking eggshells like I do every time he gets this way. And he said,
I've been thinking we should take a break.
I started to think, what? And then Stratbeard cut me off again.
It's 7:30 though. You should leave.
Apple, aren't we gonna talk about this? You can't just drop that on me and expect me to go on with my day. tears streaming down my face, and I felt like the universe wanted to strike me dead. My world is collapsing before me, and I don't even get the reason why. My mind now racing with reasons as to why he would even want to do this in the first place. His family loves me. I don't take up that much space. I'm working hard to make sure that we can have a financially stable future. What was it? What was wrong with me? Why wasn't it enough? Jesus Christ, I just want to give OP a big hug right now and tell her, you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Stratbeard says,
I don't know. I'll text you, okay?
He did expect me to do just exactly that. Just act like he had never said anything and go on with my day. Okay, good, great. Except, not so great. My work finally let me have a 6-hour shift that day, so I wasn't even getting out until 2 p.m. I have no time in between then to let out a single tear. I needed to be professional and show that I was reliable, but my composure was wavering. And with the simple question of, "Are you okay?" from my coworker, I shattered. I cried. I cried so much that day that I felt numb and dizzy with dehydration from losing so much water in my sweat and tears at work. At my break, Stratbeard and I set a plan to talk about the situation at Applebees, where all good breakups happen. Sorry. He only agreed to do so because I was paying for it. God. He's such a fucking loser. Jesus Christ. The fact that you're so committed to someone that is this worthless is just heartbreaking to me. Kind of funny how I'd be paying for the meal of my own breakup just so he wouldn't squirm his way out of it. My shift ended and I did not want to leave. Stratbeard was the only person I could turn to for my emotional breakdowns, but this was one that I couldn't turn to him about. My mind immediately drew to contacting Blue. Though I was unsure of what the dinner at Applebee's would turn into, I only texted her, "Apple, I think I fucked up." Blue, "What? What happened? Is everything okay?" Apple, "Maybe? I can't say anything for sure, but I think I fucked this up." Stupid Apple. Why are you bringing up more problems to other people who aren't even involved? Now Blue was just panicked and worried at work, thinking that I probably did something life-threatening and doesn't believe me when I say that I'm actually fine. This is a really big topic anyways, and I'd rather talk it out with her in person anyways, rather than over text. Plus, I was sleeping over at her place tomorrow. Apple, I'll tell you tomorrow. I'm going to a date with Stratbeard. Talk to you later. Felt kind of offensive to say it like that. Are they dates when you know full well that you're being broken up with? They are. Final dates, I suppose. Well, whatever. I had been sitting in my work parking lot until 5, and it'd probably be best to just go. Couldn't possibly be as bad as I think it would be, right? It was humiliating. This was during a weird COVID period where they let people dine outside the restaurants. Chain restaurants were losing business because people didn't really go there for the food. So I'm sitting outside with Stratbeard across the table from me, telling me about how
he really doesn't think I want to get married because if I did, I apparently would have done so by now. Or how we really were very different people, and he couldn't change who I was if I didn't want to change. Or that he was doing this for my best interest because he didn't want to contractually bind me to him if I didn't want it. Plus, I truly don't think you love me anymore. And if marriage wasn't the end goal for this, then we shouldn't be dating. Oh, but he still wants to stay friends.
I like how he's trying to come out of this shit smelling like roses, man. Dude is absolute dirt. This woman is like way too good for you. But you're like, since you won't marry me right now, it's over. Good, set her free. She can do better, you can die alone. So I asked him the questions that tormented me. Apple, why were you dating me? Basically, you want me to change into a completely different person. So, who were you dating then? Stratbeard didn't answer me, kept eating, and then talked about the server and his food. Telling me that
I should try his plate.
I couldn't even touch mine. Apple, did you hear what I said? He knows I hate repeating myself. Why is he making this more difficult? Because he's a very, very difficult person to be around. Stratbeard,
I don't know. I liked you. I like who you were as a person.
Apple, then why were you constantly trying to change me? If you would like me for who I was, why would you want me to be something that I'm not? Again, no answer. Who was I to you? You clearly aren't all that attracted to me Stratbeard.
I do like you. You're very attractive.
Wrong answer, and he cut me off. Stratbeard was always meticulous about the words that he chose, and he didn't say, I do find you attractive. Rather, Stratbeard separated it into 2 sentences, giving 2 different statements rather than one. My anger comes out as tears, and embarrassment from the tears only rattled more tears out of me. I didn't want to hear anymore. I paid for the dinner, then asked Stratbeard to just take me back so I could sleep. The next day, I woke up early to get to Blue's home to vent to her about everything that had happened. Well, that was really long. Sorry about that. Stay tuned for the next installment, which will go in depth with Blue and Strat's D&D encounters. Oh, Apple. It seems like you're making some big strides in this story, trying to come into your own, create your life for yourself. And as I said early on in the story, I do respect you for being completely committed to one person, but why did you have to be so completely committed to such a loser? You guys have had a connection for a long time, but that does not a relationship make, you know? It's a two-way street. It's give and take, and it seems like all he does is fucking take, and all you do is give. So even if you had gotten married at his behest, I don't think that the marriage would have lasted very long. Either that, or you would have lived a completely miserable life in a hate-filled marriage, which is obviously probably the worst thing that could happen to anybody ever. It's pretty obvious to me that you were never going to be the one to let go. So I will give Stratbeard at least a smidgen, a droplet of credit for letting you go, even if it was out of his own selfishness because he just wanted to go find a new piece of ass. And all I could say is thank fucking God for that. Ooh, shame about the family and all that stuff, but yeah, you ain't marrying the family. The family's not gonna be there every single day. Stratbeard would be the one that you have to wake up and look at and still fucking live with yourself, so I'm super glad you got out of the situation before it became contractual. And I'm looking forward to diving even further into these stories. It is a mess. It is complicated, but I do somewhat like talking about relationship stuff just because I do have some experience in that, building a happy, successful marriage. And although, you know, we do have our bumps in the road, it all comes down to communication at the end of the day. Wifey's upset, she has to tell me, or I don't know. I'm upset, I have to tell her, or she doesn't know. Lay it all out on the table, talk like adults, do not scream at each other, and you'll both be so much better, so much happier for it. I guess that's advice for everybody, not just Apple, since she's out of her horrible relationship at the moment. Whew. It was a long one, though. You are an awful boyfriend.
You are a terrible person.
Stratbeard, the D&D Chronicles. Aw, boy. Why's he gotta give D&D a bad name? Welcome back, dear friends. It is Blue again. Back to give you a little bit more of that Stratbeard saga. It's been rolling pretty smoothly so far, so let's hope that I can keep this up. Yeah, we had kind of a bumpy start. I slammed OP pretty hard, but she took it with a grain of salt. Her and Apple both just rolling with the punches, and I do appreciate it. I haven't had to snap at you in the subsequent entries, so let's hope we can keep the streak going today. This might be a relatively short one, as it takes place during the events of Apple's last entry. Here we go! The characters first, though. Blue, big dumb white girl, pretty average, D&D nerd, Godzilla fangirl, uh-oh. We gonna introduce you to kaiju beers. We also got Apple, who is Strat's girlfriend, little Filipina with a people pleaser attitude and a baby face. And then we got the beard, Strat, a musty, overweight man with the white savior complex and a whiny bitch attitude. I'm not going to say those things 100% go hand in hand, but they kind of do, though. Strat's D&D group is part of this, but I will describe them as it becomes relevant. And so let's get going then. So this story takes place as the events from the last one were happening. Ooh, simultaneous. It starts a little before the semester ended. Strat had been inviting me to his D&D games, but I would just be so swamped with work and school that I was usually unable to go with him and Apple to said games. But as soon as the semester ended, I was finally able to go with them on a trip, which I was super excited about. Strat had been talking to me about his group, and I knew the general idea about the campaign. It was made up of 7 players from Strat's friend group, all the way in Poway. 7 players, bro? That's a lot for a DM to handle, man. Also, Poway's pretty ritzy. I think I have an aunt that lives there or something. It would be held in his friend Godzuki's parents' house, and usually started at 7 p.m. and ran all the way up until like 2 or 3 a.m. He was playing a rat folk, who I think later got replaced with a changeling, disguised as the original rat party member. Yeah, but that's unimportant. Who was the rat folk, Godzuki or Stratbeard? Because Stratbeard seems like a rat folk IRL, so maybe it just wasn't fun for him to roleplay something that was so close to what he actually is. It's nice that the Dungeon Master gave him the change up, though. So, for first impressions, I decided to whip up some cookies from scratch, like I tend to do for potential friends. How to win friends and influence people. I also decided to wear my new Mass Effect shirt and some basketball shorts as usual, so that I could be cozy, seeing as it would be late when the session would finally end. I would want to sleep as soon as I got home. Strat and Apple picked me up at the house, and I shared with them my previous experiences playing D&D as a Kenku bard. That sounds difficult. Getting some laughs out of Apple as I demonstrated how my Raven Man would scream at his fellow adventurers. Kenku, if you don't know, are like bird people, and they can only mimic things that they've heard before, which means they can't write original bard songs, which is why I said it would be difficult. But then the horny Strat interrupted this conversation.
Hey,
What's up?
you two haven't kissed yet, have you?
Oh, God. Here we go. What does that have to do with what I was talking about? No.
You two should. We have plenty of time.
He smirked. So uncomfortable. For context, Apple and I were in the back seat together and had now looked to each other. I did desperately want to kiss her, but this felt wrong. Apple, I won't kiss you unless you want me to, I said in a worried tone, to which she shrugged and nodded. I'm fine with it. You sure? Yeah. I sigh and glance at Strat's practically drooling self in the rearview mirror and lean in to peck Apple on the lips and then smile contentedly.
Come on. You can do better than that,
sneers Stratbeard. Yes, I can, but not in front of you, creepo. To which I shake my head and continue to talk with her about D&D and other random stuff until we get to the house, which is really nice. Like I said, Poway's ritzy. Damn, we got a rich boy on our hands here. I'm excited to go inside and meet everyone, seeing as it is now close to the start of the session, so everyone should be here already. We help Strat get all his D&D stuff from the car and get my cookies, and we quickly head inside. There is a lot going on inside. People are already rushing about, setting up snacks and drinks, and getting the table and their little mini figurines set up. The first people who run up are the two girls in the session who happily hug Strat and Apple. Let's call them Wiccan and Tiny. Wiccan is a pretty slender and tall lady who likes witchy stuff and usually likes being the center of attention. I'm not going to say those two things go hand in hand. She's also dating the dungeon master. Tiny was, as I said, a tiny woman who looked so damn close to being a freshman in high school, but she was actually in college towards the middle of her 4-year term. They ecstatically talked to Apple, and I managed to squeeze in an introduction and go to meet the rest of the group. The only other important folk really are Godzuki, who's a pretty chill guy who dabbled in Godzilla and joked with me during and after the session, and Best Bro, Stratbeard's best friend. An amazing guy who stood up for everybody that he was friends with, but also took no shit when it mattered. I'm gonna give everybody involved in this group the benefit of the doubt, but in the back of my head, the alarm is screaming birds of a feather, okay? If they're hanging out with this dude, there's no telling what kind of creepy shit they're into. Just stay on your guard, that's all I'm saying. Best Bro was dating Tiny, and this is where some complications began. As the session went on, Apple and I would periodically go to the other room to nap because it was late and we still had work. And Strat would text me talking about Tiny and showing me pictures of her drunkenly taking her shirt off to reveal a sports bra underneath. Creeping on his best bro's chick? God damn, I hate Stratbeard on so many levels. When Tiny was drunk, it apparently made her really uncomfortable to wear the shirt, and she was sweaty, so she took it off. But she didn't expect anyone from the group to take advantage of that and creep on her for just seeing a little bit of her stomach skin.
Ugh, stomach skin.
God, that level of creepiness turns my stomach. Speaking of, Strat would also take pics of Wiccan's cleavage and butt when she turned around. Jesus. He would exclaim to me,
how much he wanted me to get with Tiny, and then use me as a way to get with her.
I would obviously refuse that adamantly, knowing that Best Bro was probably not going to be okay with that. Just, he's not fit for this planet, okay? Put him against the fucking wall. He's never gonna change. That's it. I'm done. This is why we can't have nice things. All of this is why we can't fucking have nice things. Obviously, he didn't talk to Best Bro about his idea before asking me, but yeah, that was his plan. See, because if I would act on it first, then he could get his kicks in and be completely blameless and just pin it on me. Well, his plan faltered because I just barely met this girl. We don't even know each other. And she's also dating someone who was definitely not in an open relationship. But sooner or later, the whole session was over, and me and Apple piled into the back seats of Stratbeard's car. Well, that was relatively quick. I won't say that it was painless. It pained me a great deal, but okay, at least the session's over. We can all fucking go home now. Apple and I were getting all touchy due to being tired, and Strat asked us
if we wanted to take a detour so we could hook up.
I was obviously very unhappy about this. It was fucking late. I was tired. And all of his conversations with me ended up leaving me uncomfortable. I scowled at him through the mirror before cuddling back up to Apple. But he decided to take the detour anyways.
I'm not gonna take us back until you two break the obvious ice between you.
To which we had then reluctantly had light, intimate actions between us. So awkward. While Strat watched from the mirror. Oh my god, dude. I can't. The cringe levels are getting too much. Oh, shit. He also had his hand in his pants as he got off to our reluctant loving. Oh, there it is. The cringe meter is broken. That is what sent it over the top. Jesus Christ. Eventually, we both backed off too flustered to continue, and he, thank God, drove us home, dropping me off first, but that was not the last of these little encounters. What do we call these little encounters? Like sexual kidnapping encounters? Forced mutual masturbation encounters? God damn, dude. This is horrible. As the D&D sessions went on, Strat would be driving me home and would complain about Apple when she wouldn't come with.
I like you so much more. She would just fall asleep in the car and leave me all alone. She's such a bitch, too. I'm obviously horny and, asking her to blow me, and she'll always refuse and tell me that she doesn't want to. So I have to beg her to whisper stories to me just so I can get off. It's such a pain in the ass.
Obviously, you do not have libido that is on the same level. God forbid she have her own fucking self-determination. Yeah, sometimes your girlfriend don't want to blow you. Let me ask you this. How many times have you gone down on her? Or is she into that? I'm just saying, it's a two-way street, and Stratbeard don't seem much like a two-way street kind of guy, right? $10 says that is one of the reasons that she is so reluctant. And also probably because his balls stink. Or when he had nothing to say, Stratbeard would try to make me watch the whole 2 hours of Into the Woods intro with him until we got back. But he would get mad at me if I got bored or even checked my phone once. Ugh. I find watching plays boring as hell. I enjoy listening, but watching them makes me restless. And then, when I went to Apple about these complaints, Stratbeard would then come at me, accusing me of being a bad friend. Dude, you are an awful boyfriend. I think the awfulest boyfriend. Even I can see how fucking terrible of a person you are. So by this point, I only stuck around Strat so that I could warn Apple. But if I ever called it off with Stratbeard and only hung out with Apple, he promised that
I would have no chance of ever being as close to Apple as we were now.
He would make it so I would never do anything with Apple ever again, which honestly terrified me because he could easily accuse me of doing something awful to her, and I would lose my best friend and crush just because I didn't want to fuck this neckbeard. So you were still blowing him? Jesus Christ. I probably should have guessed as much, but goddamn, I can't save you from yourself, OP, all right? Help me to help you. You know what I'm saying? Christ. But as sessions passed and the holidays were over, me and Godzuki wanted to set up a Godzilla marathon with me and him and Apple and Strat. We only did one session due to the fact that Strat, I believe, thought I was having too much fun with Godzuki. Jealous bitch. We actually enjoyed these movies and would playfully smack talk on the old shitty costumes and special effects, and
his alphaness was being challenged.
So in response to that, he never took me to watch anything else with Godzuki ever again, unless it was for D&D. Also that Stratbeard could stay being the center of attention. I want to say that it's pathetic, but my response to things being pathetic isn't usually to punch them. And Stratbeard is just so punchable. Anywho, a lot more time passes, and I'm at work one day, cleaning oil up off the ground at a car wash, and I get a ping on my phone from Apple. Bing! Weird. She's usually driving to work right now. So I look at it in one of the camera's blind spots, and all I see is, I think I fucked up. What? What does that mean? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Forget it. Forget it, my ass. No, seriously. I gotta go on a date with Strat. Talk to you later. The fuck did she do? Is she getting kicked out? Did she lose her job? I'm so lost, but I'm at work still, so I decide to text my friend Coder, a mutual friend of ours, and ask him what he thinks happened. Maybe they finally broke up. Come on, man. You know that wouldn't happen. Apple is way too good for Strat, and he knows it. They work everything out. Maybe. That's best case scenario, though. To which I just shrug and continue through my shift, trying to finish all the tasks around the wash before 7 p.m. Apple doesn't text me until I get out of work, which I thank her for because I could not deal with the stress of not knowing what we were talking about anymore. We broke up. Shit. What? How? He took me to Applebees and broke up with me. Actually, to be factually accurate, Apple, you took him to Applebees, all right? You was the one paying, if I recall correctly. This is not a sad moment. We should be throwing a party. You just freed yourself of this fucking loser. Congratulations. But Blue says, oh my God, that's so fucking awful. Apple says, I'm at your house, by the way. Can you let me in? To which I hurry my ass up and walk home from work to comfort her, taking the night to watch Barbie movies with her and eat junk comfort food all night as we just talk things out. I can now also finally unload all the venom I had towards this man on her. Talk about his grotesque fantasies that he shared with me. Oh God. Gore, cub, water sports, the whole 9 yards. Jesus. If he wasn't going against the wall before, let me tell you, he's gotta go now. A literal horny horror show, to which she apparently already knew, but she just told me that she had no idea what to do about it. I had considered reporting him to the police, but that always brought other problems that stopped me. Collateral damage, you know? His mom was the head of the county's school district's special ed department, and his father was an ex-teacher at a Christian high school. Collateral damaged them all, although I know Apple likes the parents, but fuck it. Firebomb them! They need to know too! You can continue on after this, you just have to disown your son, as you definitely would do if you knew all the shit that he was up to. Anyways, his sisters were also both in the teaching field, and his brother had a normal life with his wife and kid. If it was brought to light that they had a predator in their midst, it could ruin their whole careers and their livelihood. Yeah, goddamn, I guess OP's right on this one. My first instinct is slash and burn, but you don't necessarily want to shit on everybody, especially when they've been kind to you, you know what I mean? I don't know how he became this way when his family is so seemingly nice and normal, but I guess that's a mystery for another day. His mother might be asked to step down from a position that she had worked for years to get into, or his sisters would have to find work out of the school district, no matter how good they were at teaching. It was just such a high risk that I always bitched out. But after this night of me and Apple relaxing, a whole ton of shit broke loose. Oh, snap. Stay tuned for the next part. Ah, cliffhanger! Sorry, this one reads kind of weird. I don't remember much of the D&D sessions or what Stratbeard said. That might be for the best, honestly. God, man, it is just such a difficult one because you do want to see Stratbeard brought to some sort of justice, you know? But firebombing the entire family, yeah, okay, OP's right. It's probably not the correct answer. The correct answer is probably also not drugging Stratbeard and leaving him somewhere or something, like what happened in the Stealthbeard saga yesterday. I think more and more I learn from these Neckbeard stories that the world isn't just black and white. It's easy for me to sit behind a microphone and be like, this person's right, this person's wrong, but I know there are always going to be other people out there that see it a different way, which is a good thing. You know, I'm not looking for sycophants. I'm looking for critical thinkers who reply in the comments and tell me sometimes that, hey, ReddX, I think of this story or situation a little bit differently than you do, and explain their positioning. And sometimes I'll read a comment and be like, actually, yeah, that makes a lot more sense than what I said. None of us are infallible, and that includes The OP of this story, the OP of Stealthbeard, myself. Like I think I mentioned before, everybody is out here just doing the best that we can, you know? I am very curious about what the fallout is gonna be from all of this. I'm on the edge of my seat, quite literally waiting for the next Stratbeard entry. There's a killer cliffhanger, but all right. When it comes, I will be there. You don't get to tell me what to do anymore.
You don't get to tell me what to do. Ever again.
Stratbeard's post-breakup hell. Yes. Give me the suffering. I drink it in. Welcome back, fellow cringe connoisseurs. It is your host, Blue, back with another part to the Stratbeard saga. This one will detail the aftermath of the breakup between Apple and Stratbeard, and it is also where his horribleness is finally in full view. Oh no, it gets worse? I thought it was horrible basically this whole time, so to know it gets worse, oh god, buckle in, I guess. Also, here's some peeps. That's the cast list. Me, OP, that's Blue, the anime and Godzilla-obsessed white girl. Apple, recently got broken up with, but has a new sense of freedom. Ah yes, Strat, the self-obsessed narc, musty and horny. And Coder, mine and Apple's best friend, a bit on the heavy side, but a super well-meaning friend who's a little dumb. Bro, we can pull some punches when it comes to friends or people we like. You don't just like introduce them and be like, yeah, he's fat and kind of dumb. That's not how we talk about our friends. Jesus. But I appreciate you giving it to me straight. I would try to do the same for you. Anyways, let's get into it. After Apple and I had our sleepover at my house, she found herself practically living at my place for a week straight, only leaving to go to work. And honestly, we were having a blast. Yeah, girls time! We'd fall asleep on my tiny twin bed watching anime or some Let's Players stream, but eventually, Strat had had enough of that and complained that
she was over there for so long that it didn't feel like she lived at Strat's house.
Because she did still technically live at his place, she agreed and reluctantly went back home for a few days there. Oh god, trying to tell me when I can come and go? We broke up, bitch! You don't get to tell me what to do anymore. But Apple complies. She tells me that it was really uncomfortable having to sit down with Strat's parents and tell them that they had broken up. Seeing the concerned look on their faces, she got worried, but they agreed to keep letting her stay there, as it would be worse to have her going back to her mother's. They knew that her mother would probably have her chained up in the house, metaphorically speaking, kinda, after breaking up with Strat. And after a couple of days, we agreed to have another sleepover. Then somehow she ended up staying over for a month and some change. Hell yeah. It kinda sucks to be nomadic and stuff, but at least you get to hang out with a friend. But yeah, it's not like I minded that. She desperately needed some time away from Stratbeard. He would continuously touch himself around her, in front of her, and ask to cuddle her. What? How about no? As if he hadn't just broken up with her. Like this is something so normal to ask of your ex. Even when she had allowed a small, friendly cuddle. That does not exist with neckbeards. He would grind up against her. His behavior was uncalled for, so understandably, she decided to take a long break away from him to chill with me and my family. At least she doesn't have to worry about being pressured into cuddling or getting assaulted during said cuddling, indecent exposure while you're just trying to hang out and shit. Ugh, it's such a horrible situation, dude. And because my family was a lot more relaxed than Stratbeard's, or moreover than that, Apple's own family, she felt comfortable. Having a positive body culture drinking every weekend, and then playing Wii bowling while drunk, and almost all of us having tattoos of various sizes, we did make for a pretty excitable group, who were quick to have her feel at home. And being the product of that meant that we were also encouraged to explore our passions, as we had near full freedom to do so. My brothers are both really good DJs, and me being a semi-talented sketch artist, following after my mom and grandmother's artistic talents, it was all a really drastic change, from living in a house with Bible quotes framed on the walls, to now rock vinyls and family-made art projects hung up around the house. A very proud display of individuality. Which one is better? Which one is worse? Neither. They're on an equal playing field. It seems like they've both found happiness in Bible quotes and rock albums, respectively, so whatever makes you happy as far as I'm concerned. But if Apple is happier with the rock vinyls, then yeah, I won't say boo to that. I'd probably be happier that way too myself. I was actually worried to fully be myself around her, even with her being in my own home, because of what she grew up with, and from what Stratbeard had told me about her. I later came to find out that he told me a bunch of lies, like,
She hated that I smoke weed and drank alcohol,
as a way to try and manipulate me into not doing stuff that he didn't like. Well, I guess I probably should have seen that one coming. She insisted that she felt comfortable being in such an open and accepting environment, and even dabbled a little in our activities. I could see her being able to embrace herself and her wants, and she even got her hair cut super short, a thing Strat would have never let her do because he thought
it would make her look like a lesbian.
And more importantly to him, because he hated any kind of modifications to someone's appearance, even temporary ones. And when she showed it off to Stratbeard's family, they were kinda put off, but they complimented her anyways. Christ, dude, I never realized that Stratbeard was so straight-laced. I guess I haven't thought about it very much. I just assumed that because he was like a sexually deviant neckbeard that he'd be into anything, whatever, go ahead. But now all this is coming out, he's like, don't smoke weed or drink alcohol. It's like, bro, my mind is kind of blown right now. I'm not sure how to take this. Soon enough, my birthday came around, and we decided to go with Coder to Little Tokyo in LA, sweet, and go check out their anime, cosplay, and figurine stores, and try to blow copious amounts of money on some dumb shit. Like Godzilla, Miku, Evangelion, and Kill la Kill merch. So we picked up Coder, and headed on our way to that little corner of LA that held the most unique shops and merchandise curated for any weeb or modern teen to gawk at, or even buy if you're looking to spend copious amounts of money. During the drive, we caught Coder up on everything that had happened, along with details about Apple's breakup, and then her staying at my house for an extended period as she coped with that, and he was happy to see that she was doing well, and really just happy to be hanging out with us overall. Our college closed after COVID hit the area, leaving us to only be able to chat through Discord. He and I had been playing Monster Hunter World online together for a bit, and we were telling Apple about all the crazy shit that we were doing in that game. That is some fine taste. Excellent. I love Monster Hunter. Is it too late to get in on Monster Hunter Rise? Because I kind of want to get on Monster Hunter Rise. Anyways, we got to LA. We settled down in a parking garage and ate some cake after singing Happy Birthday. Aw, I love happy birthday times. But of course, the neckbeard is always lurking, just waiting to crash it all. And this is when I got a text from Strat, asking where we were, because neither of us apparently texted him for like 2 hours, and I explained that we were at Little Tokyo. Bro, he's still all up in your shit? At this point, I wouldn't have texted him for like 2 weeks, 2 months. It's over. Done. Finito. Give it up, bro. But of course, he jumps straight to the whining that he does so well.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because it didn't seem important. I only wanted Apple and Coder to come.
That hurts my feelings. I've wanted to go there for a while now with Apple.
Sorry. Not even sorry, just K. K, I put my phone away, and we go on to enjoy the rest of our day, spending a collective $1,000, Jesus, on anime merch and food before having to head back home with our spoils in tow. And then Strat texts me again.
You guys have been out so late. Is Apple coming home tonight?
What a pathetic weirdo. I love it. No, she wanted to stay a bit longer. We might drop by so I can give you one of your belated birthday presents, a play-by-play picture book of the Godzilla movie where Mechagodzilla is first introduced. It cost about $25, and we also need to get her some clothes.
That seems pretty unfair. She's been hanging out with you all month. She even missed my birthday.
Fuck your birthday, son. I think I've called him bitch made like at least 5 or 6 times in this saga. But here, it shows more than any other time. How old are you, bro? I haven't gotten a birthday present in like a decade and a half, and you know how much I give a shit? I don't. I'm a big boy. I'll be fine without a cake. But actually, Apple didn't even miss the birthday. NOP corrects him. No, she didn't. She went back home to eat dinner with you guys. But as we've explained to you, she needs this time to be separated from you.
I don't know. It just seems super unfriendly.
I understand wanting to like break up and still be friends, but dude, this is a bridge too far, isn't it? What the hell? I tell Apple what he said, word for word, and she gives me this annoyed look, telling me everything that I need to know. I just nod and then turn my phone off. She doesn't like how he's still trying to take control of her time out, but she also doesn't want to cause problems with the people who were housing her. We leave with the only intentions of dropping a present off and getting her clothes like previously planned. As we dropped Coder off, we went to Stratbeard's house to do our errands. I gave him the book and barely got a "thank you" for it before he then just buried it in the trash and food on his desk. Into the nest it goes. Apple gathered her clothes, and we hurried up and got the fuck out, although not without speaking light-hearted pleasantries to his parents for a bit. Seriously, how did these incredibly kind people bear that? Weeks pass, and Apple returns home at the request of Strat's mom because they truly did miss her. But not even a day into this, I receive a text from Strat again, while on Discord with Apple and friends playing Worms Reloaded. Again, sweet pick. I joined them at first, but then I just opted to watch the rest of the group hash it out. Strat,
wanna see something secret?
Oh God. OP, what do you mean? Strat,
it's pretty scandalous.
Oh God, no. Strat,
just tell me if you're gonna tell me.
And I'm sure we can all guess what it is. I received a picture, a silhouette of his little micro dick against the light of the screen where Apple's playing the game on. Apple's back to him, blissfully unaware as she plays. He was jerking off right behind her, without her consent or knowledge. She had brought it up to him before not to touch himself around her. Dude, what the fuck?
What?
Do not do that. That is so fucking creepy.
Ugh, you sound just like Apple when I got off in the bed before she got home.
Dude, yeah, because that's her room. Her bed.
No, it's my room.
Which you gave up to her last fucking December.
Whatever. I'm sorry I brought this up to you.
What kind of a response did he expect, honestly? I'm creeping on this chick. I'm inches away from sexual assault. Hooray. Goody gumdrops for you. What? What planet is he from? Thank God he dropped the conversation. I don't think I could stick that out for a second longer. Apple and I decided to go to the local Spirit Halloween a couple of days later. Hey! And in the parking lot, I bring up the picture of Stratbeard that I had saved along with the convo. I didn't want to bring it up when it was happening because she was finally able to just enjoy time talking with our friends online after avoiding this house for so long. And I didn't want to ruin that moment. But also, I was just floored by my level of disgust at this situation. My brain was barely able to catch up with the conversation that was happening on Discord. So I asked Apple, "Did you know about this?" while showing her the picture, to which she gave me a startled and very angry face. "What? No!" She was shaking at this point, and I put the picture away. "You need to bring this up to him. We know he doesn't really care about what I think." We agreed that she would speak to Stratbeard later that day, and then headed off into the store to browse. Although probably nothing at the Spirit Halloween is going to be creepier than the picture you just showed her in the parking lot. Oh, God. We went back to the house, and Apple told Strat excitedly where we ran off to. He pouts.
He wanted to take her to Spirit so she could help him pick out pieces for his Jason costume. He had even planned it out for Tiny and Best Bro's Halloween party.
And Apple forgot. She said her sorries, but then she asked me to leave the room so she could talk to Stratbeard about the situation. He agreed to stop touching himself at all in her space and in her proximity, or risk her not even being friends with him anymore, which probably that's the direction I would have gone from the beginning. And surprisingly, he did keep up that promise. Good, that's improvement. But sadly, he ended up taking it out on her by whining
about how horny he was
and how much he missed
her blowing him all the time.
God. We never fell for it. It constantly shut him down, but God, there is only so much of that a person can take. And if it didn't seem like the problems kept coming up one after the other, Apple was given a deadline. Strat's mom said that she had until Thanksgiving to leave the house and find somewhere else to live. Well, damn. You're not banging our son anymore, so you have to go. I kind of get it. I mean, if she's not paying rent and shit, but it seems kind of cold-blooded. They weren't quite as harsh as all that. Apparently, they were actually really nice about asking her to vacate, though I wasn't there, and there's really no other way to say, "We need you gone before Thanksgiving," without also sounding kinda harsh. We fully believe Strat was behind that, but because of it, we decided to start looking for places to move to. Coder was in for the move too. We wanted Coder to leave his abusive home, and I wanted to finally have a sense of independence from my family and take a step towards being a responsible adult. Hey, roommate time! You'll come out of the situation either much better friends or, bitter enemies. At least in my roommate experience, it's complicated. And to Strat's dismay, Apple spent a lot more time with me because of it. Haha. She'd basically moved out of his house and into my place anyways, and with permission from my mom, she could stay up until December rolled around. The only condition was that we needed to be constantly applying for apartments in order to keep her off her. My mom would not let freeloaders take advantage of her hospitality. I like your mom, tough but fair. It's about what I'd do too. We eventually found a nice place out in the high desert for a decent price. Hey, my grandma lives out there. A 2-bed, 2-bath, and we were quickly accepted. They told us that we could move in a couple weeks or so, around November 1st. We just had to give the landlord our deposit before then. Best part was, it was a whole hour away from Stratbeard, and with the gracious help from Apple's mom, we were able to give our landlord the deposit in just a few days' time, which we were so thankful for. This finally meant an end to Stratbeard's torment and a new beginning for all of us. That concludes this episode of Stratbeard. The last part is upon us. Stratbeard Epilogue, coming soon to a channel near you, but mostly ReddX. I really don't understand what the fucking game plan was for Stratbeard here. Like, break up with this girl, continue trying to control her life. Like, she was in it 100%, and you just decided to toss her out because I don't know why. There's no reason, really. She's not banging him enough or some shit like that. Ugh. And even once she's out, they pull me back in. You know what I mean? Just ridiculous. I've had a few long-term relationships, and we ended things on pretty good terms. We're like, yeah, let's stay friends, but what does that actually mean? It means we still follow each other on Twitter. That's basically it. We never fucking talk, ever. Occasionally, one of my exes will get popped up into the suggested friend feed in Facebook for my wife, and she always points that out. We have a laugh. But yeah, I think once the relationship is over, it's over. We're not gonna try and maintain, like, any level of contact, especially when he's been such a disgusting fucking pig the entire time. Definitely not worth keeping around, and luckily, yeah, an hour, that's enough distance, probably. Dude does have a car and whatnot, but his level of motivation is so low, and hopefully he has no idea where you actually went and started living, so good for you. I hope Stratbeard dies alone. I hope that's what the epilogue post is. It just says he died. End of post. Well, a bit anticlimactic, but I can't say I'm upset about it. What'd you do in it? I mean, other than drive.
Mostly drive.
He did the same joke about 3 times already. I don't think it's funny anymore.
Stratbeard, the finale. Goodbye, Stratbeard. Goodbye. I wish I could say it had been a pleasure knowing you, but I'm not a very good liar. So there. Welcome back to the final, and probably longest, and cringiest segment of this saga, the epilogue. We have some word-for-word conversations here, as well as some beautiful, beautiful cringe. I serve it up hot and fresh for lunch daily. I hope that you enjoy. Not safe for work as always with this man, so there is your second warning. First, we'll get the characters out of the way. There's our OP, Blue, the hopeless romantic nerdy white girl. Apple, short Filipino woman and Strat's ex-girlfriend. Coder, best friend and roommate. Him and I torment each other, but also push each other to do better. And of course, Strat, the beard of our story, and a complete mess of a man. We don't even see him much in person, or even at all during this time. A lot of it is just texts, which take place over the span of a year's period, so there are a lot of time jumps. Anyways, concise cast list, and here we go! We'd finally gotten our new place, started moving all the things in, and we were in the middle of getting stuff out of the boxes. It's always the hardest part of moving. I'm pretty sure we still have some boxes sitting around here that just never got unpacked. I'd checked up on Strat at the behest of Apple with just a simple, hey. Oh, I was not prepared for the salt that this man proceeded to throw at me.
I'm definitely not talking to you right now. Too much for me. We'll see how that evolves, but for right now, I'm not really in the mood. Sorry.
I see. I love that. Either a K or an IC. Just hit him with the tiniest string of text possible. And of course he continues.
Not really something I want, but there just keep being things that make me really upset. And the responses I get from you generally made things worse for me. And if I don't bring them up at all, I suffer because I feel like I should be. So, at least for now, I'm just gonna try and find my own way.
And this second text string seems to break down OP's barriers just a little bit. I mean, yeah, you gotta remember that I'm not here to sugarcoat things for people. especially not when I feel strongly about it or feel like I'm directly invested in it. You're also not my boyfriend, so I do not have to walk on eggshells for you. But regardless, hope you have a good night.
No comment.
Okay then. I just sigh and show Apple, to which she texts him and gets this in response.
I've been trying to get and stay close to you for weeks, but you push against me, remain indifferent, and continue to do things that upset me to the point of ruining entire days with those newfound awful emotions.
God forbid.
And your muddy mess with Blue, her needy behavior, your giving in behavior, the amount of pleasing and being with and going to and supplanting me with her that you do has just gotten to be too much for me. I'm tired of being a third wheel to the most important girl in my life. Out of nowhere, so I just decided I won't. If you want me, you could just tell me, and we can get as close as you like. Otherwise, I can't keep trying to get close to you and get friend-zoned. I get hurt every time. I've straight up stopped talking to Blue because I honestly just can't handle it. Blue's whole bitchy attitude. And then when I don't get any time with you, she's like, well, yeah, she can do whatever she wants. Or, oh, I'm sorry, hon, that sucks. Like, fuck you, you heartless jerk. You're stealing my one source of emotional comfort and barely even pretending you care. I've had it, so I'm just gonna keep my distance. I'm still very down for you. Anything you want and anything you need. I'm always down to the max for you. But I'm not gonna reach out for anything anymore because it sucks every time.
I mean, really, that entire wall of text can be summed up with the sentence, "You're stealing my one source of emotional comfort." Like, bro, Apple is not emotional support animal, okay? She's a fucking human being, and I can count the number of times that Stratbeard actually treated Apple like a human being throughout these stories on, like, no fingers. It was a woodworking accident. It's very sad, but at least I can still count to 0. All this threw us for a loop, of course. We knew that he was mopey, but where was this anger coming from? He had made us move out and he had broken up with her, so why did this matter? So we largely ignored it and went back to whatever the hell we were doing. Another loop was thrown not even a couple of days later. We had to grab Apple's things from Strat's house, walking into the belly of the beast. While we were doing this, I had a thought. Strat still had my nudes. He was actively using them to catfish men and women on his alt account, but now he had no reason to ask me if I wanted certain pictures shown or not, including ones with my face and tattoos, so I needed to get rid of that shit. Oh, more Stealthbeard vibes going on around here. A little bit of blackmail photos. Shit happens. You should only give those nudes to people that you 100% trust even after the relationship goes sour. I was reminded by something off topic, and I wanted to ask if you had deleted the nudes that you have of me.
I have not. Why?
Because that's what a decent person would do, Stratbeard. But OP responds, I would like you to do so.
I don't think I'm going to. I'm proud of them, and I like them. Not like I'm gonna share them.
That's not the point.
Relevant? I have them somewhere on my devices. I do not have the time to do that now, though. Maybe later.
Yeah, maybe later. What fucking wormy language is this? Fine, but as long as they're gone, I don't care.
I'm still leaning pretty hard on if I took it, it's mine. And it would be my choice, too, on what to do with it.
Yeah, that's not how the law works at all. Bro, people 100% go to jail for revenge porn. And really, that is like the least offensive offense that Stratbeard has committed in this saga. He does belong in jail, even on something minor, but really I want to see the whole book get fucking thrown at him. Smash his teeth in and shit. That makes me super uncomfortable. I want nothing with me in it, especially not my face or tattoos, but I would appreciate it as a friend if they were all magically gone.
I do get where you're coming from, but at the same time, it's ripping something that means a lot to me from me. In a sort of non-optional way. These pictures are good memories.
You know what else makes good memories? Memories! You idiot! How about no fucking physical evidence? What the hell? Is it really so hard to be a decent human being about this? For Stratbeard, I guess it is. Nudes are not good memories. To keep a nude from an ex is sorta creepy. I find pictures of us hanging out normally as good memories, although that was a lie because nothing with Stratbeard was actually a good memory.
Again, not even considering my opinion in this. Just you and how you feel.
Yeah, how she feels about her body being digitally distributed to whoever the fuck you feel like. God damn, dude. This beard is gonna win the gold in mental gymnastics. Well then, I see where we stand.
I mean, I would like to stand as a friend, but you're pretty skittish and booted me out of any closeness. And you've been pretty possessive of Apple.
Pot, meet kettle.
This do it or we're not friends thing is just totally uncalled for.
I'm just not fucking comfortable having my nudes with someone that I don't want my nudes being with. I'm possessive of Apple because I know you're gonna post some bullshit to try and get her back with you, just like you did when her and Hunter were talking. Talking! Just talking! You're such a fucking useless and goddamn petty thing that you would get pissed at her over a rumor. I mean, he's always been a fucking petulant child, but it's really nice to see the vitriol just getting poured out all over him. Here you go, you reap what you sow, fucko. Well, at this, Stratbeard shut off his phone and stopped responding. Good. I can scowl at him IRL in just a second. We arrived at his house, and I was so genuinely close to drowning him in their spa that I apparently visibly looked angry. I came there with the purpose of helping get Apple's stuff. So when I started moving things, Stratbeard got upset because it no longer felt like a social call. Oh well, it's fucking not. Oh god, breakups are hard to watch, but I love to watch it. About a month or so, Christmas time rolled around, and we had an amazing friend party around then, and Apple and I officially started dating on the 28th. I had been waiting for her to mourn the loss of her last relationship before asking her, but she ended up surprising me instead. Around this time, Coder had begun talking to us about things that Strat would say to him, just to try and make him jealous at this time too. Like how he would get drunk women to blow him on their Ubers home, or how he had so many fuck buddies at BronyCon. Alright, not sure drunk women and bronies are exactly the top of the ladder, but whatever helps you sleep at night, I guess. Actually, he doesn't deserve to sleep at night. In all honesty, he probably can't because Apple is running around up there rent-free in his fucking head. Meanwhile, Coder is a virgin. He knew and used that just to get an edge on a genuinely nice person. Coder is not a lustfully driven person like Stratbeard, so this just made Coder upset and uncomfortable, and it pissed me off. Stratbeard was trying to pull a reaction out of Apple's best friend solely because he was acquainted with her, and to flaunt the fact that he was willing to overstep his boundaries as the boyfriend of Coder's best friend just to get a reaction by talking about all of this wildly uncomfortable stuff. Send the screenshots to his mom. How about that? Unmask their beautiful baby boy for what he actually is, a fucking monster. I don't think that's the first time that I've had that thought, but it was 2 months since the last entry, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. Another encounter in Strat's hidden side happened when we met up with Best Bro at his D&D game in late July. Strat had been kicked out of the game that Best Bro was DMing for, something that they wished to tell us in person. So after the game, we sat down near the apartment on this salty oceanside night and talked. And the salty night was probably about to get a whole lot saltier. He explained to us that one of the women in the game, a short, stocky woman with short buzzed hair and piercings, was being ignored by Strat, and he would cut her off and avoid interacting with her character at all, to which she confronted him, and it got heated, so he just kicked Stratbeard out of the game, when Stratbeard took it personally and stopped talking to Best Bro altogether. This gave Best Bro some time to think about his and Strat's relationship, all the times that Strat was a jerk to him and his friends, which Best Bro told us in depth about. We went off on this too, starting with how Strat creeped on Best Bro's girlfriend, to which he seemed shocked. I mean, it's kind of obvious to everybody but you, bro, but I guess he's just like too trusting of this fucking beardo. Never trust nobody, that's how I look at it. He really did have no idea and looked a bit upset at the news. Yeah, that's a given. We learned why Strat was no longer talking to him. Best Bro had moved in with a pair of friends that Strat apparently did not like. A boy and a girl. You know why Stratbeard didn't like them? Because they were banging and he wasn't involved? It was because, lo and behold, he sexually assaulted the girl. Oh, God. And when the girl got upset, the dude, in turn, got upset. Please tell me that Strat got his fucking ass kicked. That might fix him. That might turn all of this shit around. You just gotta give him the ass kicking of a lifetime. Oh, and remember when Strat would touch that girl in drama class? I don't, but I'm sure we've covered it in a previous part. Apparently, that was also non-consensual, and he was assaulting her too. There was a whole investigation on him. Not surprised, but I was shocked that he would take it as far as rape. I'm not, honestly. We talked about it until 5 in the morning and had to be quick about getting home. So we parted with happy and relieved goodbyes. Not even a month later, a few months ago in fact, this conversation between Apple and Strat took place after an exact year post-breakup. Strat,
It's been 1 year. Are you happier with your independence?
Apple, hi. You know, been living out in the high desert, working in a factory, living with good friends. I don't know what you're trying to hear, but I've been good. How are you, Strat? Any reason for the sudden salt? Strat,
It's not salt, sorry.
it kinda is though.
It's just been on my mind. My life has not been super great since we broke up.
I'm so glad to hear it.
I get into a lot of really not great moods, and it's hard not to think about it. There's not really a way to undo it, unfortunately, and things just sort of are what they are. I just feel like a year is a good tell as to whether this is really a break in our relationship or actually the end. I know it's basically already at that stage, what with the silence and some bad blood between us, but I guess I've just been clinging to the thought that maybe my life could return to something better, and that this could turn out to be like some kind of twisted and terrible break rather than a permanent split.
Hope floats!
But if you're happy where you are, I feel like that's a pretty clear sign of the wanting to break or split line.
See, he seems contrite. He seems like he's just trying to, wrap up some loose ends, but don't fall for it! This is his way of getting the hook back in. Do not fall for it! I'll say it again.
It's good that you've been good, really. And despite myself, I'm glad you found yourself in a place that you feel good about things.
Apple, thank you. I'm sorry you've been so down after the breakup. At no point did I wish that upon you. Nah, the thousands of people that watched this video did the wishing. You didn't have to do anything, Apple. Strat.
It's just how it shook out, I guess. A very unique set of circumstances led to the breakup affecting us very differently.
Apple. Agreed. How are you? Strat.
Physically, fine. I have a really good job, but my social life and my emotional health are just garbage fires.
Yeah, they kind of always have been, dude. It's just that Apple was standing there with some fucking bubble gum and duct tape to try and hold it all together.
You left, and the best bro kicked me out of our D&D group, leaving me pretty socially isolated. I haven't really been able to befriend anyone else either, so it's just left me in a very, very bad place. I know it's not polite to harp on the negatives, and I'm sorry, but it's probably been the worst year of my life.
I know it's not polite, and I'm sorry, but let me continue. Fuck yourself, bro. Take a flying leap. Oh, I know she doesn't end up falling for it, which makes the tears that are being shed right now from him all the more delicious.
And where that worst year began was with you, so it's really rough to try and have a normal and passive conversation with you about it. On the lighter side of things, I'm working at MVUSD. I've had increasingly important and high-paying jobs, and I'm looking to get a permanent position with them soon. I also took a pretty neat cross-country road trip. Mostly neat, anyways.
Where is all this going? I mean, I know where all this is going, but it's just kind of crazy to me that Apple is too polite to be like, shove off, dude. We broke up, it's over. Get over it. Apple, that's actually really neat. What'd you do in it? I mean, other than drive. Strat.
Mostly drive. I had someone I knew in Pennsylvania, so I visited them for a few days, and we celebrated my birthday.
Apple. Ah, well, happy belated birthday. That's actually really good to hear that you had some fun. Strat.
It was a nice few days. I would say that those days were practically all positive.
Apple. Well then, that's more than great. Actually, sounds like about the best time that you could get, what with the world being post-COVID. Post-COVID. Yeah, I wish. Strat.
COVID hasn't really affected me much, if I'm honest. It's been more of a footnote on my life, especially in comparison to the other negative events affecting me around the same time.
God, your worldview is just so fucking small. How is that possible? Yeah, worldwide pandemic, it's not that big a deal. Just a footnote in my life. What really matters is the fact that we broke up. Like, dude, screw your fucking head back on. Apple, of course, finds this awkward as well, saying, I see. It's important to note that, while not important to the story, that this man had actively ignored warnings of being in crowded spaces and staying 6 feet apart and or wearing a mask in public, actually leading to his whole family contracting COVID. They all survived just fine, thank God, but like, hasn't affected you much, huh? I mean, I didn't even realize that he brought it home to infect his whole family before I made the previous statement. But yes, it does reinforce the fact that he has the tiniest possible worldview, all the more. Strat?
Yeah, I think it's an ironic thing. That sort of dark, comedic irony that the worst year of my life is the worst year for most people as well, but for completely unrelated reasons.
God damn it, dude. I just can't with this dude. I hated him the whole time, but like this is just the icing on the cake. You have no concept of what other people are fucking going through. It's just me the entire time. I hate it. Brings me right back to the Unfortunookie entry where we're talking about Naruto headbands, and OP pulled out the DSM entry for narcissism, and this guy fits that to a T. It's something that I've been looking out for in these stories, and it's definitely a common thread. And of course, Stratbeard is still fucking talking.
The common response to me trying to open up about how I'm really doing is something like, yeah, COVID's been hard on everyone, and it's always some level of funny to me. Sorry, I guess that was a little too negative as well.
That's the proper response. Just don't respond. Let it hang in the air like the bad fart that it is.
I've done art too. Lady Scales has built up a network of neat contacts and chats pretty frequently. My savings is huge. My health is good. My job also very good. I've got a lot going for me, and I know that, even if my mental state doesn't always represent it.
Like he wants to play the pity card, but he also wants to lure Apple back in by saying how well things are going. This is some sort of fucking dichotomy, man. Apple, it's not that. It's not the negativity, but maybe how you're handling it. Also, I'm talking to people, so I'm not going to be responding consistently. Questions, though. Have you actively tried to seek help about your mental well-being?
What? I've not gone to a therapist, if that's what you're asking. Also, no worries. I'm at work anyways, too, so my responses are also somewhat limited.
Just trying to even that playing field, even though he's sending like these fucking giant walls of text. Cool it, bro. Apple, I'm moreover asking, have you actively sought out ways to get over this immense sadness, as you call it? Stratbeard,
I have indeed.
Indeed.
I've tried reaching out online, on social networks to make friends. I've gone to the gym to get some exercise. I've been social and friendly at work. Nothing really's enough to pull me out of remembering the actual repeated nightmare pattern of my life. As soon as I'm driving home, like, yeah, I had a pleasant talk with someone at work, or maybe drew a cool picture or something, but as soon as I have 30 minutes to myself to drive home, things are pretty much back to, oh no, I'm so alone with no friends and nobody wants me or wants to see me. Why do my friends leave me? What's wrong with me? I'm just broken. What's this the last time? It never really is getting any better. Please not like this.
Without taking a breath. Yes, indeed. I honestly do think therapy would help him, but he seems too proud. He's just like, oh yeah, I throw myself into work and the gym. It's like, well, that's great, but it's not exactly what is needed at the moment. You're using the wrong tool for the job, Strat. It's like you're trying to fix your car with a fucking hairdryer. You know what I mean? And honestly, I do despise the guy, but I don't wish poor mental health on anybody. I do hope that he picks himself up, gets his life turned around. Of course, all of that after a brief stint in jail to pay for the crimes that he's inflicted on others. Anyways,
one of my favorite biblical quotes that I shoot out a lot is that it's no good for man to be alone. And it's bad enough that I am. Even worse, that I used to be so the opposite of alone.
Popular?
That it's comical how far I've fallen. I went from essentially a dream state to feeling dead inside. Anytime I remember that, which is hard not to all the time, I have a little bit of like an internal episode.
Yeah, bro. You was living the high life for a little while, and you took it all for fucking granted. A little bit of gratitude would have gone such a long way. You could have held on to it forever. But you let it slip because you were so sure that it was gonna last forever. Nothing lasts forever. Take a note of that. Apple says, except that it's not just internal. It's preventing you from seeing the external. You aren't alone. You've got a family that loves you and will stick by you till the bitter end, no matter how much of a fucking monster you are. They're always ready with open arms to come and help you with what you need, and they honestly only want to see you happy. Strat?
It's true. I do have my family, but it's not the same. You know that.
Because they don't blow you.
I love my family, and they're just about the only thing that's still keeping me afloat.
Apple, a lot of people can't say the same. And yes, I know that you mean romantically. Oh, yeah, kind of like what I said, but worded better. One thing that I've come to see is that romance is fleeting. The family you build is what lasts. The more you keep focusing on why you don't have a romantic relationship at this moment, the more you won't be able to get one. Strat?
Rip in peace. I wasn't even meaning romantically. It's a bit saddening to know that you're still just thinking of me in that way.
Bitch! This is all you, 100%. Is that mental gymnastics again? God damn, let's give a clap for this triple axel that this fucking beardo just pulled. Good lord.
Romance is certainly something I miss and something I desire, but it's so much more than that. My closest friend, who's even okay with hanging out with me and being a close friend to me, lives 2,000 miles away. I have no friends. Hold on. I don't even know how to put it. Like, you probably just think I miss sharing my bed with someone. But to paint a bigger picture, guess how many people said happy birthday to me outside of my family that weren't literally right next to me?
I mean, I'm gonna guess 0, but mostly because you put so many fucking caveats on it. Like, okay, your family is obviously gonna wish you happy birthday. The people who like you enough to come and see you are going to be right next to you and going to wish you a happy birthday. But honestly, what's the fucking big deal with birthdays anyways? I haven't celebrated a birthday legitimately since I was 21. And you know what? I don't miss it. Every time I hear somebody complaining about their fucking birthday, I just see a big baby birthday boy in a gigantic diaper. Nobody cares about your birthday? So fucking what? You carry on with your life. Expectation is the mother of disappointment. Guess what? I expect nothing for my birthday, so when my wife cooks me a nice dinner, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And that's all I need. A little dinner, a little cake, even if that didn't happen. I wasn't expecting anything. Just fucking get over yourself, is what I'm saying. Of course, I know younger people probably look at birthdays differently, but at 30, I legitimately don't give a shit.
And not a single person greeted me. Not even one. Nobody thinks about me, and nobody wants me or my company. Nobody's missing me or wishing I was around.
Yeah, you set all this up, bro. I can't even feel bad for you.
Nobody even remembers my birthday. Everyone is and always has been way better off when I'm not around, or when they finally get as far as they can from me.
I mean, you said it. I was thinking it, but you said it.
Can you name a single counterexample, including yourself?
Apple retorts, literally you. Blue didn't get any happy birthday messages aside from people beside her too. A lot of her happy birthday messages were from when she posted about the birthday stuff that we did. Durr. Coder literally forgot his own birthday because he's been so busy. The only people who contact him are me, Blue, and his mom. Hey, I like Coder more and more. That's my kind of dude on his own fucking program. Coder currently has no friend group except for us. Strat?
To be fair, that is what I said, but I guess the caveat is that the one person I was with lives 2,000 miles away. I don't get to live with them. I'm sorry, this isn't an argument. I'm just trying to open up, not to challenge you.
Ugh. God, he's so fucking exhausting. At this point, I just shut the phone off. I can't do it anymore. Apple, still with the patience of a goddamn saint, says, just so you know, this doesn't sound like sad. This sounds like upset or angry. Sadness would garner a different reaction. Strat,
Desperation, not anger. Disbelief. Grief has 5 stages, and they're all the time.
God damn it, dude.
Like, I can't believe where my life is, and I have frequent meltdowns, and I have no choice but to bottle it up, because my network of emotional support has kicked me out of their lives. So there's this extremely intense pent-up emotional burden, and it comes across bad because it is bad.
Dude does need therapy quite desperately. You're still having grief over a breakup a year later? Oh God. I guess it does happen, but it's happening for all the wrong reasons here. You know what I mean? I reiterate, Apple is not your fucking emotional support animal. Ugh. Apple just responds with, right. Good response. Strat,
It's a multi-dimensional block of awful things.
you are a multi-dimensional block of awful things.
Trying to tell literally anyone about it turns them off to talking in general, which is an issue that you don't have with close supportive friends. But like I said,
Apple, well, yeah, actually it is. Because while you can vent to friends, they're also not really obligated to help you. Your friends aren't your fucking therapist. Whew, amen. Say it again for the people in the back. Your friends aren't your fucking therapist. And as you even said, this is bad. And you even recognize that all the things that you've tried to do are not working, yet you still refuse to seek professional attention and block it by keeping busy instead of facing it. To move on. Strat,
this was sort of my moving on move, to ask if you were really done for good.
Apple, and what would that help? Make you more depressed? Give you a glimmer of hope? That's not healthy. You know that, right? God damn. Apple calling it like she sees it. Fuck yeah. Strat,
It's just good to know what my future could and could not hold. I already have hope. I just want to know if it's false hope.
shit in one hand, wish in the other. See which one fills up first.
Because false hope is a very bad drug. I have an absolutely cursed bit of hope that someday I'll have you in my life again, like you were, that you'll want to come back. And that thread of hope is something that I shouldn't have because I know there's no foundation for it, really. So if there isn't a foundation, I want it gone. And if there is, I'll be very much inspired to set myself up to be ready for it. Without it, it's a pretty cursed thing to have. It just keeps my mind thinking about things that it shouldn't.
Apple, what was the point of you breaking up with me? What did you hope to gain from this break? Strat,
It was a break for both of us to, really decide if we were what we wanted. You never had the chance to really explore yourself, and I had doubts about things as they were. So I needed to decide if that was what I wanted too.
yeah, I'm not buying any of that shit. And thankfully, neither is Apple. The ride is over. Apple, and what have you reflected on? Strat,
Well, I realized I made a decision as well as a massive mistake. I did want our relationship. Life was way better with it than without it.
yeah, hindsight's 2020, isn't it, fucko? Apple, was it? You complained about what I did and lied so much that there seemed to be almost no end. You complained about me to my friend and then never even apologized or sought to even talk to your fucking girlfriend about it. You found the people that I surrounded myself with inane and irritating and constantly found new ways to change my points of view. Strat.
Why do this? Why make me explain it any further? Is me being miserable not valid? Can't you just tell me what you've reflected on? Why use this to bash me?
Got him squirming like a worm on a hook, and I am living for it.
If I was so awful to be with, and you wouldn't have me back because you were reflected so negatively on it, then you could just say it. You don't have to try and convince me of my own feelings. I'm not asking you what I think. I'm asking you what you think. I've told you what I think already.
Apple, I'm asking these questions because it sways for how I would answer. The answers apparently being, should she continue to try and befriend this beard man, or keep him as a part of her distant past and leave it there? Apple was now dating me, but Stratbeard didn't deserve to know about her personal life. You so far haven't acknowledged the other reasons why you wanted to break up with me. The main ones were that we weren't compatible, I wanted to be independent, and you didn't want to contract me to you if I wasn't 100% about it. The not compatible thing is the most important, really, because I definitely didn't need to break up with you to have independence. And I truly was in it for the long haul. I would have never left your side despite being different. And I truly believe that too, bro. Plenty of Filipinos out there in it for the long haul. My wife included. We are extremely different, but we find beauty in that. We love each other's differences. Let's see how Stratbeard responds.
I've decided that those differences are whatever.
That's a terrible response.
In the grand scheme of things, what we can't work out or agree on, we could still live with.
Apple, no, we didn't just disagree. You said that yourself. Strat,
there was enough good to have been more than worth the bad, especially now that I've seen life without it. I'm still not entirely sure how to tackle it. The fact that we basically define relationships differently. I think, there are probably things that would come up again. I don't know. It's very important to have communication, to be open, and to be attentive to the needs of someone that you're in a committed relationship to. But I also know that those things don't come as naturally to you.
Fucking irony of this. He's talking about the importance of communication while having quite possibly the worst fucking communication I've ever seen. And Apple retorts, or you. No, I'm not letting you absolve yourself from this. The fact that your way of making me compromise with you was to get me on your side or not at all was just one of the things that showed exactly how you weren't attentive to my needs as well. Stratbeard.
And here I was, about to empathize with you, and why you behave in a way that doesn't make sense to me. The thing is, you definitely say that, and I'm willing to be more compromisey.
Compromisey. Oh. Apple angrily ranted to me for almost half an hour after that text. Something about he thinks he knows her better than herself and just wanted to have some fucking control again. Apple, dude, you wouldn't even let me cut my hair unless you had a say in it. Strat,
that's a rough one.
God damn it.
Always has been. And I'm sorry I'm so, intense, or that sort of thing.
Intense isn't the word, it's possessive. You fucking weirdo.
It's true. I'm not very lenient about that sort of thing. But you say that I'm not attentive to your needs?
Apple. About a lot of things, actually. In response to that, mundane needs, sure. You even got most of my personality down to a T, yet we only walked on eggshells around each other. Strat.
But you say it like I'm actually not attentive to your needs. Like I wasn't there for you when you had breakdowns, or when you got upset, even at me. Like I didn't support you in every way that I could. Physically, financially, emotionally. Like I didn't give you a place to live. And like I wasn't willing to risk everything that I have to help you out.
You didn't risk a goddamn thing, dude. Your family was completely fucking on board with all of this. So don't try to hang the roof that was over her head, because you didn't even pay for that roof that was over her fucking head. Your parents did.
Ugh. Things like being strict about haircuts, being called not attentive to your needs, it seems pretty dismissive of the level of support that I was there with.
Apple. And don't think that I wasn't appreciative of it. To this day, I'm still grateful for everything you've done for me, but helping me through one of the biggest leaps of my life and then holding it over me? I mean, I'm not dismissing that. As you know, I'm sorry for calling it mundane because, yeah, that was a lot for your parents, not for you. Yet still, you put restraints on me as if I couldn't be my own person while being around you. And you'd rather just keep it that way. While you gave me comfort, you took away freedoms with it. Again, that's not attentive, that is controlling. Strat.
I guess in my mind, there's a sort of mutual restriction / allowance system.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, he's dropping the ball real good. Let's see if it works for him.
Restriction / allowance system in a relationship that is planned to last forever. Or else we could just both do whatever we want, whenever we want, even if it bothers or offends the other. And I feel like that could be a dangerous setup. And I'll admit, there should be a level of trust in your partner to not intentionally do things that are going to offend you. But I also feel like if I didn't say no, you couldn't, then you would, even if it offended me. Not for everything, of course, but certainly for something like dyeing or cutting your hair.
Yeah, this restriction / allowance system is really working, isn't it? You get to go fuck whoever you want, and I don't get to cut my hair. Fair's fair, isn't it? God damn, dude. Apple, so like, where is this going? The more that I ask, the more dismissive you get, and the more problems just seem to appear. You say you want a relationship with me now, but it honestly doesn't sound like you do. You want my answer? Oh boy, Strat.
I really do, yes.
Apple. I want to have a friendship with you, but I don't think I would ever want to be in a relationship with you again. Strat.
Alright, it's good to know.
Apple. Your values aren't what's controlling or troubling or even what deters people. It's the actions that you choose and the fact that you will never own up to them. Strat.
I base my actions on what I believe. I explained why I would put a limit down on some things, did I not? Is there something that I haven't explained?
See, he's getting upset now.
Are you looking for a blanket I'm sorry for limiting you and not letting you cut your hair and I'd never stop you again? What are you looking for?
And after indignation, he falls back to contriteness.
Obviously, all this is about more than haircuts, but I just want to know what it is that you're looking for.
Not you. That's simple. Apple, yeah? Are your values the ones that dictated you going to Blue and talking shit behind my back? Did it also tell you to have desires to rape and molest people who were in committed relationships? Better yet, did it dictate that you sneak revealing photos of them? Did your mutual restrictions and allowances apply when I took all of your restrictions and you had none? All because you couldn't trust me? You tell me, what is it that I'm looking for? God, I like Apple when she's fiery. That's so good. Oh, hitting the nail on the head. Just delivering blow after blow. Come on, baby. It's time for the knockout punch. Strat.
What shit did I talk? I love you. If I vented any frustrations, it would never have been in a tone that I wouldn't have been comfortable telling you about. Also, whoa, what on earth?
What on earth?
I've never had a real desire to rape anyone. Not ever. No matter what sorts of fantasies or mental images or discussions that I've had.
I like how it gets fucking realer and realer. It's like fantasies, mental images, discussions.
I would never do something so awful, or even in a million years want to. I'm genuinely sorry if I've gone so far into any sort of fantasy like that you think I'd actually want it. I'm disgusted that such a thing would even be said about me. Also, yeah, photos are not cool. That's pretty creep behavior, and I'm sorry about that too. I shouldn't have done that. I knew that, and I did it anyways. And why is me not having restrictions while you did my fault? You were free to restrict me.
God damn it. Just trying to rewind the whole record, man. Rewrite history right now. Listen to the previous Stratbeard sagas and just imagine how that would have gone. Fuck no, dude.
I was grateful that you didn't restrict me. I just didn't realize that you were harboring resentment over it. Why explode now? Why not bring this up immediately if those issues are so extreme? Why use this as some sort of gotcha to tumble me down and lash out? That's not really a healthy thing to do at all.
Oh, the arbiter of good mental health is here. Everybody, fucking roll out the red carpet. Oh my God. After all of this, you gonna talk to me about health? Bro, I'm gonna bite your fucking nose off and chew it up and spit it in your fucking eyes. Ah! Yeah, that's good rage. And of course he continues. It never stops.
I haven't thought of these things during this talk because not only have you brought them up or even hinted at them, but I don't even think about them because they're like so minor and so easily correctable to me. Those are all experimental behaviors. Things that I don't really like. I don't know. Things that aren't core to me. Things that you can literally just say, kinda gross, dude, don't do that. And I would just not do it.
Yeah, I'm sure. How about you just be a normal fucking human being that doesn't need to be told when things are gross? He said it himself. I knew it was wrong. I did it anyways. But you're going to continue doing it because you don't get called out on it? Fucking mess.
Heck, even if you just said, I don't like that, or it makes me kind of uncomfortable, those behaviors could vanish.
Apple. No. See, I did call you out, and those behaviors did not. They persisted, so I gave up. Strat.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
Sorriest motherfucker I've ever seen.
Truly. Please, no. I'd absolutely wipe those for you. No problem at all. I guess I just never understood how big of a deal it was.
Holy shit, man. He is trying just every trick in the book. You love to see it. Apple, That's another problem. It's because you didn't see it as a big deal that these were problematic. That is why these behaviors kept persisting. Strat,
I've had sort of like a reckless sexuality and a problematic moral compass to go along with it. And I'm sorry.
Apple, I am too. Strat,
It wasn't really okay. A lot of the things I was just casually okay with doing. It was sort of unbarred, and I was greedy with how much I could get away with talking about, or in some cases, doing. And I definitely see why that would be a huge issue. It's not something that I need. It's all excess. It's not even something I need to feel satiated. It's just, like, extra things. I don't want to say too much dessert. Because that makes it sound positive in a way.
Apple, you can understand why I wouldn't trust that. Only because I've heard all of this shit from you before. Strat,
Of course. I'm sorry you still don't trust me, but it really is good to know where you stand. Good to know more, specifically. Less dodging around your concerns.
Apple, yeah, this was good, and I only wish the best for you in the future. This was probably the last that we hoped to hear from him, but oh no, of course, this fucking beardo left one final message. Oh no, he really never does stop, does he? Strat,
It's definitely sad to think that you've dwelt on such negative aspects of my character during the time that we've been separated. Not that you're without reason. I've done things and said things that are beyond questionable. And I'm sorry for those things that I did that were so gross that they stuck out to you so much, even through all of the good things, and painted a picture of me that is so grotesque and unpalatable.
that's actually perfect though. Describe Stratbeard in 2 words. Grotesque, unpalatable.
I honestly hope that you remember me as more than just a pervert who didn't like your friends. I think it would be nice to be friends, and I'm sorry that my answer to that offer has been no, but I think I'm just feeling too hurt still to be able to emotionally handle it. Sorry for messaging out of the blue. I told myself I wouldn't, but it's just been hard imagining how you think of me.
We never responded. That is the only correct response because he was just trolling for another text. We never plan to respond again. In fact, I hope to never see or hear from this man again, and that would be more than fine with me. Well, thank you all for coming with me on this retelling of these events. Me and Apple are pleased to say that we are happy that all this is behind us, and we can focus on a future together far from this fucking beardo. If you would like to chat with me, you can find me lolling about on ReddX's Discord server, where Blue is indeed a mod, and we hope to see you guys on there. So until then, peace. And so it was that another saga came to a close. Not with a bang, but with a long series of text messages. Although I did rather enjoy every single one of those text messages. Once Apple started like laying the fire down, letting this dude really fucking have it. Mwah! This is too fucking delicious. Telling him all the things that honestly he did need to hear, and probably nobody had ever told him this stuff before. Or if they had, he completely ignored it. You can't always have it your way, Stratbeard. I'm sorry you still want a relationship and blah blah blah, but you got a whole lot of work to do on yourself. I'm curious about the rape investigation that was casually mentioned. I hope he gets found guilty for that, spend some time in jail, and then while he's in there, he can really reconsider his reckless sexuality. God damn, dude, what a ride. We'll get the compilation up in a month or two. This has been a long time coming. I'm glad to finally wrap it. I roasted the fuck out of Blue in the first part or two, but she was cool about it, came into the Discord, say, yeah, we just had kind of a laugh about it. And she ended up becoming a mod because she's the only one brave enough to venture into the certain darker corners of my Discord. The 18 plus corners. So of course, definitely glad to have you aboard, Blue. Hugely great member of the community. And I don't wish any more beard encounters upon you. May this be the first and the last. I hope that you guys did enjoy the series. If you did, I hope that you'll like, comment, and or subscribe. Maybe share it around if you should like. That's the real MVP play. You know what I'm saying? We got all kinds of plugs, playlists, podcasts down in the description. Plugs include my Teespring, my Amazon affiliate link, wifey's channel, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX. Yes, indeed. Come check out some of our vlog videos over there. I would appreciate it. Also, maybe download a podcast. Get your ReddX on the go. That'd be pretty cool. We've also got my social medias, of course, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Come on through, say hello, and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons, ooh-wee, who has, and of course my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons, the Jerry Army. Not all of them are named Jerry, but some of them are Jerry in their hearts. So I'd like to thank them all, as always. So thank you, Robert Waits, Baron Von Waggy Pants, Jarhead Jerry, Oorah, River Jerry, TSM Kirby, Twisted Child, Delicious Jelly Donut, Captain Clown Jerry, Hong Kong, Cinnamon Susie, Fire Drake, Giggle Jerry, hee hee, hey Jerry, Livison, Mr. Anime Manga Fan, Silent Revolver, the Jerry Behind the Slaughter, watch out, Princess Jerry, Aaron W, Anunnaki, Asian Persuasion Jerry, yeah, Assassin Pug Jerry, Pachow, AXN Grizzly, Bearded Jerry, watch out for that one, Bitch Gremlin, Blameless Fish, that's a new one today. Welcome aboard, my friends. Blip bloop, blip blop, give me my drip drop. Cherish Kitsune, Commander Jerry Tank, Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Aaron Lennox, Gypsy, Hadrian BR, Heathcliff, a pimp named J. Crisp, J.M. Coon, Jerry with an I, that is indeed a different Jerry. And of course, the original Jerry, Jerry Satori, Jerry that's more Jerry than any other Jerry's, and that is a Jerry fact. You sure about that, though? John Hero, Simboofacus if you boof it is free, Kira M, Kitsakin, Miss Monday, Lexi Love Jojo, Little Lone Wolf, Lord Lionel, Jack's Rule, Vanilla Mel, Melgar the Destroyer, Mint Chip, Mirthful Baker, Mr. Jerry, my boy Nat with Nick, Natari, Lady Nix, Nightmare Jerry, Spoopy, Origami Jerry, gotta fold them all. Phantom of the Pines, Princess Jerrykins, and Jerry Beth. Sidestep, Redwin, Rosemary Miller, Roustower, Cider Drinker, Serrated Ass, Staples, Jerry, Stephanie Goodner, Side Aptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tapioca Boogaloo, Tato Ferret, 10-Ton Monster, Dad Dunga Bug, The One True Fusky, The Better Marble Jerry, New and Improved. Treeberg, Wilmags, yet another different Jerry. So many different Jerrys. Zero Blacktail, 211 Jerry, a normal Jerry. Those are two different Jerrys too. Emera, A-Roxers, Banished Knight, Barbushka's Irradiated Jam, Cake Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Carrot Jerry, Chris Mesca, Cinnamon Bunny Dog, Crip Jerry's, Cuban Jerry, Defon Jerry, Ghost of Alpha, Goose Says Honk, Jerry Bean, Jerry the Great, John Indoors, KJW, Kajow, Crafty Kitty Cat, Lapichi Jerry, ooh, Life of a Guardian, Little Ann Woods, maybe next time, Midnight Sun, Milkfed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Naga Viper, or Jerry Cam, Princess Rosalie Jerry, congrats on the marriage, Ghosty, Ryga, Raptor Art, Saints Blessing, Spoonie the Rogue, Steampunk Ellie, the Necro, Jerry Con, the original Jerry who is not the original Jerry, the most different Jerry who might be a different most Jerry. What is happening to my brain? Titania Jerry, Token Black Jerry, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Promise. Swearsies, it's just a fact. Oh boy. I think those are supposed to be switched around, but I'm really enjoying myself. God damn, dude. So many patrons. I am super, super grateful. It has exploded over the past couple of months since the last Stratbeard saga was posted, and I couldn't be more grateful. I hope some other people consider signing up on the Patreon. People or Jerry's, I'll accept either one. You are welcome here among ReddX friends. If you can't afford to do it right now, though, don't sweat it too hard, friends. You know, I only really want money from people who ain't gonna miss it. You know what I'm saying? The most important thing is that you came on through, you hung out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like, watching some more ReddX videos. Please? Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely, definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, bye-bye.